Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Tales on Tap. We hope that you're having a wonderful day and a wonderful week so far. Welcome back to Aerilon, A Destined Journey. This week is episode 22. We are well in the thick of it. If you haven't caught up on last week's episode, then go watch that because some magical mystery things happened. But again, it is not just me here this evening. We are joined by the wonderful crew of Tales on Tap. How are you guys doing?
Hello.
Very well, thank you.
Pretty good. Hello.
I so wanted to fuck up that intro, but I didn't. I'm happy.
Once.
No, you've done well. You've done well. So, just before we get into the ever important D&D session and the important segment of our stream tonight, we have some important announcements from some very special people. Han, do you want to tell us about one of those very special people?
Sure thing. So Awfully Queer Heroes are two incredible individuals who are purveyors of modules, maps, subclasses, tokens, all the like that you could need, spell books and items as well. They are queer and neurodivergent accessible, and they are incredible people who do incredible things. Their drive-through RPG and Patreon link are down in the dungeon below, so be sure to go and check them out.
Thank you very much. And Dan, do you want to tell us about one of our other wonderful people?
Yeah, absolutely. If you are looking to have the best maps and tokens to throw in front of your players for all that juicy combat, and even the good roleplay moments where you just want a nice backdrop for all that drama, go to Tom Carl's Battlemaps, where they have a range of different places from dungeons to fields. All their things are down in the dungeon below. Go support people in this space.
I'm a big advocate of roleplay battle maps.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you very much. Natalie, do you want to tell us about our final important person? People?
Absolutely.
I fucked that up, sorry.
Yeah, you did. No worries. We're going to tell you about Valkyrie RPG. That's Valkyrie-RPG. They do everything tabletop RPG. So if you want dice, if you want terrain, if you want just cool stuff to wear, go check them out at Valkyrie-RPG. They have a sale on at the moment. Most of their stuff is still on sale, though they are deep in the expo prepping at the moment. So if there's a slight delay to their shipments, they do apologize, but they will get it to you as soon as possible. And don't forget, if you're not going for anything on the sale, stick our Tales 10 in at checkout and you get an extra 10% off.
Amazing.
Everything's on sale with Tales on Tap.
Love
Sorry.
that. No. That was a really cool little plug. I like that.
That was awful.
Well,
I'm missing some of the theatrics that we got last week from the...
Well,
I'm sorry, it's been a day. Okay, imagine this.
Yours was
we do
more
this again.
Well, you've queued yourself up very nicely there, Chris. So why don't you tell us about some important things that are happening in the very near future?
Yeah, sure. You can catch this episode and all previous episodes in podcast format, wherever you cast your pods. We split them into two parts, so you can listen to them a little bit more easily or on the go. Sunday is part 1, Thursday is part 2. So if you don't manage to catch all of tonight's episode, you can catch it there. This weekend, we're going to be at the UK Games Expo. We're going to be wandering around. We're going to be making some content out there. So look out for that on our YouTube channel. On Saturday at 1 p.m., we're going to be hanging out for a little bit at the Valkyrie RPG booth, which is stall number 349. Come check us out if you're there. Say hello, give us a cuddles. Sorry?
Hall 2.
Hall 2. Sorry, yeah, absolutely right. Hall 2. We have some other things coming up soon. We're going to have the finale of Aerilon, A Damned Voyage. That's going to be coming up when, Dan?
Next week.
Next week. That's next week. Holy crap. Look forward to that. And then starting at the beginning of July, we're going to be moving on to Aerilon, Sins of the Peacekeeper, which is our interim campaign while our wonderful DM goes and has a child.
Yep, baby DM on the way.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty much it. There's always more stuff coming. There's going to be a lot of content we're filming at UK Games Expo and a lot of promo stuff for the Sins campaign coming to our Discord and our YouTube channel and our social medias. Go check them out.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And talking about social media, Evan, There's lots
Yeah.
happening in the world of social media right now, right?
A lot is happening in the world of social media. In fact, I've had too much time on my hands. So, and thanks to Dan, I've been playing around with a meme creator. So, in the next couple of weeks, you're probably going to get really sick and tired of it. But I'm having loads of fun. So, in the next couple of weeks, there's going to be a lot of memes coming out on social media, and there's also going to be some that are exclusive to our Discord channel. So if you want to see those and want to have a bit of a laugh with us or with me, because I'm laughing at them, check out our Discord channel. All the links are to our social medias, and the Discord channel is downstairs in the dungeon. Also, speaking of the UK Games Expo, we are going to do a little bit of a shift in the social media front for UKGE. And that is that Instagram is going to be a lot more active during UKGE, because we have someone else taking over Instagram for that weekend, which is our lovely DM Dan.
Apologies for the poor content in advance.
This is what I've had for my lunch.
There's a lot going to come up on specifically about UK Games Expo. So make sure to check out Instagram from probably Thursday all the way to Sunday.
Yeah.
Amazing. So, thank you very much, guys, for those wonderful announcements. As always, you can check this episode out and all previous episodes of every campaign and one-shot that we've done over on our YouTube channel. You can go over there now, press subscribe, you can hit the notification bell, so every time we upload not only shorts, but long-form content as well, previous episodes, any interviews, all the kind of fun stuff that we film will be on YouTube. So go and subscribe and do the thing over there. As always, you do not need to be a subscriber here on Twitch to watch our content. Just come and hang out with us on a Tuesday. You can sit back and get yourself into a state of emotional torture, just like the rest of the players do weekly. But if you do want to support us and unlock some really cool emotes, as well as subscriber badges and other fun things, then hit the purple button down below. You don't have to pay for that. If you already pay for Amazon Prime, you can just connect your two accounts and it's free. But again, you don't have to spend that here if you don't want. Go spend it elsewhere. But, you know, if you want to support us, we're very, very grateful. As everybody has mentioned, UKG is coming, and there is some very, very cool and exciting things happening. We've got some big things happening at that convention, and potentially some sneak peeks at an upcoming announcement that we might be ready to announce in the coming weeks. But you might have a bit of a sneak peek of something that we've been working on.
Dan.
Well, it is cryptic, and if you want to find out more, go onto Instagram and make sure you are tuning into our Instagram post, because there might be a few little clues as to some stuff that's upcoming. Cool. That about wraps it up. So we play some D&D?
Yes.
Let's do
Yeah.
it.
Cool. So just before we do, we don't need anybody to roll tonight, because Natalie, you're going to be taking notes for us this week. But Natalie, did you want to say anything before we kicked in?
I did actually. I want to say, you know, can I do a shameless plug while we're still in the
No shameless plugs.
What are you plugging?
myself? No. So I wanted to say another way to support our stream would be to jump on our Discord or the Instagram links that you will see if you put it there. Exclamation mark art. For both me and Han, we both do create character art, or I do emotes or overlays or all the good stuff with art stuff. So yeah, check out our stuff on Discord or Instagram and get us up if you need it. Thank you.
Amazing. You're
All the
welcome.
good stuff with art stuff.
All
I
the
like
good
it.
stuff with our stuff.
I like it. Yeah, hold
Throw me
on.
off.
Hold on. We're about to get copyright strike. Didn't Neil Buchanan say that on Art Attack like every week?
Oh, don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Keep going. Keep going. Cue the
Anyway,
intro.
so yeah, let's kick into tonight's episode. So if you haven't already, go and get yourselves a drink, get nice and relaxed as we dive into tonight's episode of Tap on Tales. Or yeah, what they said.
Faith. Belief that persists beyond the power of reason. Something I have to learn to have in people again. In the ones I can still call friends. The Temple of Ilaria was a strangely comforting place, but something feels different now. I don't know if it's the low-lying arcane energy I could feel all around me while I was in there, or this new potential connection I have to a deity. But my own arcane energy feels like it's in some kind of, well, for lack of a better term, flux state. I decided to leave for the UC as I'd spent far too much time in the middle of the city lost and confused. Working my way through the back streets and the shadows, I tried to get to the illusionary tunnel. I decided to see just how far the reach of our wanted posters had gotten, and while I wasn't group shots on every street corner, our individual faces did appear little and often, as was the face of the other person arrested with us that day. Just who in the hell was he? Is he? While in thought, I suddenly felt a small form collide with my own, and whatever it was, bouncing off. Pym seemed to be running in a great hurry, going somewhere, and while glad to see me, did not have all the time to explain why, but from what I could gather, Kyria's problem had escalated in the time since I'd been gone. Assured that the rest were following, we made our way through the tunnels of the city, taking passages I had not traveled before, until we reached what I was told was the botanical gardens in the upper city. With little time to stop and smell the flowers, we came to the large tree that stands in the middle of this beautiful place, and with what seemed to be an incantation and some kind of spell, Pym's opened up a doorway. And for the first time in a while, I feel excited to be somewhere, because if I'm not mistaken, this is an extra-dimensional space. And a very beautiful one at that. This rather beautiful expanse of rolling green hills and blue skies was ruined slightly by the fussing and annoying tone of who I could only assume was the owner or leader of this place, a satyr woman by the name of Thalia. I knew druids could be secretive, but this was a bit much. Not long after introductions were made and the rest of the group emerged to the grove, they still had the limp remains of Kyria in hand, now stark white and looking more the part than ever before. With few words bandied around, Thalia took them into her home and told us that only 2 of us could go in there, and without word, Pym and Liana took the charge to stay by their side. Makes sense, really. I imagine Eddie isn't really in his element here, and, well, I haven't been exactly the best friend to Kyria recently. To any of them, honestly, but it's something we endeavor to change going forwards. Although, having said that, Finian was also allowed in there, and I don't know what to make of that. Taking a seat with Eddie against the door while we waited for whatever healing was going on to be completed, it was nice to know that some small connection still existed, even if it was knowing that I was desperate for a smoke. As we took a moment and sat properly for the first time in what seemed like forever, I talked about what I had come across and my new potential path with Ilaria, and Eddie helped teach me about what it means to talk to a deity and potentially rely on them, and the beliefs of his own of sorts, this Melania, the Everbloom. It was nice to just sit and talk about something other than how we're going to run for our lives now, or who may be trying to kill us. It was at this point Filian called out that Kyria was back, and as soon as the door was opened, Eddie was straight inside. I felt nervous to enter, like I was going to look upon the face of someone I had wronged. Silly, really, but it put a stone in my stomach. Never using that phrase again. Kyria was groggy and out of it, but had enough strength to tell us about where they had been. As I wrote down what I could from what they spoke of, it seems they had returned to the memories of their life in Mirania. And then a being, Dakon, they said he was called, a seemingly malevolent spirit that wanted to keep Kyria there for reasons that they didn't want to allude to. They're not saying everything, and it felt like that, but I suppose we cannot push too hard. I can't push too hard. People, not problems. I need to remember that. With spirits raised and hugs adequately shared, it honestly felt like I was doing it more for myself than them, really. Trying to remember that it's okay to be close to people. I made my attempt at an apology, and as normal, Kyria's bright nature held no ill will, and I have no idea how to deal with that, and I don't think I did it with the kind of grace I would like to hold myself with. So I left the room into the stumble and, yes, positive attitude, I suppose. I decided to take a barefoot walk through the grass of this place and allow myself to reconnect once again to my mother element. Really get a feeling of the earth around me again and just lay there breathing in the clear atmosphere. Both literally and figuratively, as everyone seems to be in good spirits again, and cheerful conversation, even laughter fills this space for the first time in what it feels like weeks. Wow, I wish that could have lasted. The echoed sounds of deep explosions like cannon fire shake the grove and put all of us on high alert. We gather around the Raven and leave the sanctuary to the next fire we have to jump into. The sky is filled with ships. The flagship adorned with a gallant phoenix and the crest of Solasta. The Dread Sultan has arrived. I do miss the frying pan.
Very good.
Very good.
Very
Very
good.
good.
I like that. I like
I
that.
like that end as well.
Yeah,
I
it was
do miss the
class.
frying pan. Love it.
So, on tonight's episode, will the group decide to literally throw themselves into the fire that is the Dread Sultan's arrival? Will Kyria even be able to walk into the fire? Will somebody have to throw them? We will find out on this evening's episode. You will find yourselves stood outside in the botanical gardens within the high city of Wyndmere. Above you, this huge skyscape of ships adorned with the flags of Solasta. As Virgil so eloquently put, the Dread Sultan is here. The Raven stood mere feet away from you, turns around. Well, this doesn't look good.
Can I look around to see if it looks like there is any kind of battle emerging? Because we heard cannon fire.
Absolutely, yeah. Go ahead and roll me a perception check, please, to see if you can pick out
Go
any...
and get my dice.
Never prepared.
Looking to the sky, sort of the way the ships are put together and the way they're sort of spread out. From what I've read or little I've read of the Dread Sultan, does this seem like something that, like an entourage that they would bring with them to show off more than, like, does this seem natural for what they're trying to achieve? If I thought about it.
Okay. The question being is, what do you think they're trying to achieve?
Pomp and circumstance. For me, it feels like they just want to make a grand entrance.
What are the
Does it feel
vibes?
like
Yeah, is it like an intimidation tactic or?
Okay.
like a parade that sort of like ushers in Solasta?
Okay.
Mine was an 8, by the way.
You don't see any visible signs of like black smoke rising from the city, or you don't hear like any screams or anything like that. Virgil, you get the impression that this is more... Yes, okay, it can be classed as pomp and circumstance as such, but it's more a show of force. Like, you would kind of look up and go, okay, this is an armada of ships. Like, this is a show of force. This is effectively them flexing on Wyndmere, right? Like, they've rocked up and gone, we've arrived. But you also get the impression that this might not be a full show of force. Like, this might... it's hard to tell, but there is 15 or so ships.
15 including the
flagship, correct?
The flagship, okay. Are they in any kind of formation? Sorry, just out of curiosity.
They seem to be not so much in formation that you can see from here. You couldn't pick out like a shape or anything. They may well be, but not one that you know of.
Okay, cool.
I'm kind of clinging onto Liana's back as we exit the tree. I think I'm more focused on looking around to see if there's anybody nearby, because 6 people have just come out of a tree who are fugitives. I just want to see if anyone's got a beat on us.
Sure, go ahead. Perception check with disadvantage, please.
It's with disadvantage. That's 10.
10. There are a handful of people like dotted around, but there is no attention on you. Like everyone in the surrounding, everyone's looking up in awe of this vision and this sight.
I realize that there's a lot of inside checks and perception checks right now, but I was just about to ask. The people around, do they look fearful of what's being displayed in front of them, or is it more like, oh my god, this is amazing kind of thing?
It's a mix. It's a mix. Like you kind of getting the impression that like, even though the announcement on the Skyhaven News recently was that this was happening, even still, like, this is a huge scene in front of you. Like, this is unlike this isn't like just 1 or 2 ships arriving. This is 15 ships.
Yeah, exactly.
The notable point about this is none of them have flown into the port yet, the skyport. All of them are above the city right now.
Yeah.
So it doesn't look like they've just rocked up, flown straight to the port. It gives you the impression that this is a show. Like it's like, look, we've arrived, like, marvel at this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Edivir's just going to turn to everyone and say, if we're going to do something, we need to make a move soon.
I don't think we're in any fit state to move soon, are we?
No. Finian's right, we need to rest. This doesn't look like an invasion force yet. We have time. I think we need to rally ourselves. Kyria's barely holding it together, and
we have nowhere
It's fine.
We have no sanctuary.
we can just return to the tree.
Can we? They just told us to leave.
Well, only because they had what was going on outside. If we come back and say, don't worry, nothing yet, and then take them up on the offer they gave us, I mean, what are they going to do?
Yeah, I've kind of put in. We have an agreement. We can stay there then for the night.
Oh, let's get off the street then.
All right. Everybody get back in. And I'm going to put my hand on the tree.
Mm-hmm.
And speak the same command.
Okay, which is?
Let me scroll up. We've been... Oh, God.
Passcode is Weebeam.
Yeah.
Just Elvish for let me the fuck in.
Knock, knock, motherfucker!
It's a riddle.
Oh,
Anyway.
God. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You,
Opens, hopefully.
yeah, it opens. Like, you step in. Dude, this is like, fuck me. Anyway, you've shown me like 50 memes. I'm still scrolling.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, God, brother.
Present your greatest meme.
Anyway,
There
yeah,
are only
so
2
you-
words to search.
No, Evan made it up. Because I couldn't
Yeah.
find my bit. Anyway, you put your hand on the
Doesn't
tree and
matter,
it
say
opens. It doesn't matter. Like, you all step through the tree back into the grove where the druids are.
Okay.
Arbor Vitae.
Yeah, that's the one. Arbor Vitae.
Plant life.
I need to
It
write that
is.
down.
But you all step through back into the grove. Thalia stood on the opposite side, just kind of goes, well? What is it? Should we worry? Should we be worried? Should I close the portal?
Potentially. The Dread Sultan has arrived. The ambassador from Solasta is here, along with a rather large showing of ships. They don't seem to be doing anything but flying overhead, so if it's a show of force, they're taking their time about it.
I can't help but think that if Solasta is connected to whatever's going on with Flux, then someone's going to be doing something incriminating right now.
Unless they're not.
I mean, it's quite the distraction.
Might be a good time to have eyes on the Malgrave Manor.
This
You
one.
hear
needs
the
rest.
you hear Finney go,
No, I just turn to him. I say, "Not you."
no, it's fine. I have a promise to keep tonight anyway.
Well,
Look,
so do
I'll,
I.
I'll be heading out. You guys need your rest. I'll be back before morning.
I've got a few more hours in me.
Pardon me, Edivir, but you don't sound very convincing when you said that.
Well, I haven't been hit yet, and I've still got a couple of grenades on me and smoke bombs, if
Then-
worst comes to worst.
which will come to worse. If we think what's about to happen is about to happen, then you need everything you can. And look, I need to go and get some supplies myself anyway. And like I said, I made a promise and I will be keeping it tonight. So get yourself some rest and we'll head out first light.
The card work through.
What's the time?
Mr. Wolf?
Probably mid to late afternoon at this point.
I'll just go and scope things out for the next couple of hours to see if there's anyone coming or going. I won't engage.
Leanna puts her hand on his shoulder. I, too, would like to join you, but it's probably best we do this as a group.
Okay. I don't see why an extra set of eyes is such a problem. I can be unseen.
I could give you an hour. I think I can do something.
Okay, what can you do?
It might not work. It might.
What can you do?
Well,
Yes.
I think I might be able to make you invisible.
Well, like actually invisible.
Like, actually invisible.
That could have come in handy. No, don't worry.
No, so I didn't know how to do it before, but when I was, being shunted through death, it was like I could see a bit of the weave, and I tugged it, and I got it, and I think I'm good.
The what?
The weave.
Okay.
Okay.
Magic cat!
Well, look, I would like to have eyes. This seems like a pivotal moment. This seems like something that all this has been building to. I understand we need to get back on our feet. I'm good to go for at least another couple of hours. I'm not feeling too.
No, I am too, actually, Edivir. That's a really good idea.
Leanna just puts her paw and pushes her back onto her back. She's just like,
You are staying right here.
I'm not even sure if you should be casting magic, in all honesty.
But just don't say that, then I'm useless.
So am I, darling. We all are right now. But you've literally just woken up.
I'm not.
I would worry for your health.
Look, what is about to happen could take us days to get through. We don't know what's ahead of us. Take this opportunity to rest. Edivir, if you've got a couple of hours, an extra set of eyes won't hurt. We're already in the high city. It's a short distance from here to Malgrave's Manor anyway.
Exactly.
Will your card work from in here?
Yeah.
How do I communicate to them that I'm outside if I have to come back?
You can't. So you'd have to put your hand on the tree and say the word Arbor Vitae, and it will allow you in.
That'll work for me as well, yeah? Because I can't do any of that crazy stuff.
It's fine. It's more an activation of a portal than it is the use of you.
Stop. That's fine. Arbor Vitae.
Look, I have no magical abilities either.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Well,
you being
I don't know if that's
magical,
true. I've
yeah.
seen you turn into a bird, but whatever.
No, but
The whole face thing? Is that not magic?
yeah, but that's not magic. Look, I don't really. We haven't got time for this.
Yeah, we don't. Kyria,
Yeah,
I'm willing to try it if you are.
awesome. And I kind of clamber down off of Leanna's back and just ow, ow, ow.
You can use me as a crutch.
No, I'm okay. I'm here. And I kind of fall into Edivir's chest, and as I tap his chest, I cast invisibility.
As you cast invisibility,
Invisibility.
Edivir turns invisible.
Invisible.
Yep.
Did it work?
See?
No, it didn't. Honestly, you can stand there trying to pick your nose all you want, but we can all still see you.
I'm not picking my nose.
Very well.
I'm going to wave my hand in front of Finian's face.
Nothing.
Slap him.
As you slap him, he just turns and goes, "Remember, it only lasts for an hour." And I have a very, very good memory.
All right, cool. Everyone, chill out. I'll be back before you know it. I won't be more than 2 hours.
That only lasts for an hour, by the way.
It's fine. I've got something else.
Where are you, just out of curiosity, where are you going before you go, just in case you don't come back?
Malgrave Manor.
Okay.
I'm not going there. I'm going somewhere else. But I can fly back past Malgrave Manor on the way back, just to make sure he's fine.
I won't rustle any feathers, don't worry. I'm good at staying quiet and waiting for the right moment.
Is that a bear joke?
It's quite good, actually.
Well, look, I'm not going yet, so Edivir, we'll see you soon.
Cool. I'm off. I actually left before he said that.
Yeah, it's fine.
Can't see me, so. Edivir,
leaving the four of you with Finian and Thalia. Thalia turns and goes, right, well, allow me to, I'll show you to where you're sleeping tonight.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And Finian just turns to you, Kieran, goes, as soon as nightfall drops, I'll be leaving, alright?
Okay.
Alright.
Okay.
And Thalia escorts you across the Druid's Grove to one of the other houses that's, again, it's kind of like opposite end of the courtyard to where Thalia's property is. This kind of, again, imagine Hobbit home, this round door that is kind of like fixed into the earth. She kind of walks over and opens it and just, there you are. You'll find there's plenty of room in there for all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just not to ask too much, but food, water, it's all in here, I assume.
Okay, well, if you're not going to ask, brilliant.
I still have some in my pack.
That's fine. Everyone inside, and Virgil tries to usher everyone in, but just like, okay, bye, Thalia, bye. Fucking awful person.
What do you mean?
I really like her.
Just druids.
So,
Sorry,
She's a
what?
druid.
you
I
see...
don't know his.
So as you enter, you are greeted by a very warm and inviting kind of foyer. You see that there are coat hooks on one wall next to the entrance and next to the door, and a small bench next to it for the removal of shoes, if you so wish. The floor you see is made of wooden planks, like polished wooden planks, and you see the walls themselves have this kind of wooden paneling to them, and sort of like very slightly curved. As you enter through the foyer, you see off to the left-hand side there is a small living area that has a large fireplace with a stone mantle. You see that there are a couple of cozy armchairs and sofas arranged around a low wooden table in front of where this fireplace is. As you kind of look to your right, you see that there is a kitchen. You see that there are copper pans and pots hanging from a rack above this like wooden island within the middle of this room. You see there is a large stone oven towards the back wall, and a well-worn wooden table just to the left-hand side as you enter this room. If you look directly ahead, there is a small hallway that leads off to two more different areas. You see, if you continue on down the hallway to the left, adjacent to where the kitchen is, with an adjoining door that joins the two rooms together, you see there is a dining area which has a sturdy oak table, but it's surrounded by mismatched chairs, so chairs of all different shapes and sizes, some stools and things like that. There is a chandelier that hangs over the table. Gives kind of looking at it, looks like wrought iron or very heavy kind of steel chandelier that's over it. You see towards the back of this room there is a sideboard that holds various different dishes and cutlery and a few bottles of fine wine that look to be empty. You see off to the right, you see that there is a large bedroom that looks very cozy, very comfortable. Has round windows towards the back of the room that kind of lets the light in. You see that they have large beds with patchwork quilts on. There is a couple of small wooden chests in there. A very small writing desk with a stool tucked under the desk. And a soft woolen rug that kind of goes almost the length of the room to cover the hardwood flooring. Just off to adjoined to the bedroom, there is a small bathroom within there with a deep clawfoot bathtub. A wash basin, as well as a couple of very rudimentary shelves that have been very slantily put on the wall. They're not perfectly level. They're very odd, very gently slanted. That are stocked with a couple of fluffy towels and soaps and things. You also find, if you start exploring around this small property, in the kitchen, there is actually a hidden door off to one corner of the room that, as you lift up, leads you towards a root cellar under the property. The root cellar essentially is a pantry that kind of leads to this root cellar where you see lots of root vegetables hanging from the ceiling, like onions and things. A couple of sacks of potatoes that kind of line the room, flour, various kind of bits. You also feel that this place is cool. It's kind of dark, perfect place for a root cellar. The very earthy smell that comes from here mixed with the aromas of these herbs and spices that are also hung on hooks that are kind of on the banister. What are they called on the roof? Not banisters. It's a beam. Thank you. My head went blank then. Apologies. But the overall atmosphere in here is one of warmth and comfort and hospitality. You get the impression that nobody lives here. This is very much like a guest house that is used for such occasions as you guys go in. But it's very welcoming and very inviting and kind of feels like a home away from home.
The book by the front door, little signatures, lovely stay.
Wi-Fi password on a chalkboard.
Local attractions near you.
Yeah.
If you want more towels, ask.
Yeah, exactly.
Water in the fridge.
Yep, exactly.
This reminds me a lot of home. I like it.
That cellar smells a lot like home as well. It's very nice here.
It is.
Kyria kind of seeing the secret, the passage down to the cellar, kind of just disguises their lack of interest in going down, but you can see them kind of physically kind of jolt a bit before going, I'm going to have a bath.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Have fun.
Bye.
Shout,
Do you
shout
need
if
it?
you need.
Do you need anyone to keep you up just in case you don't have the strength to stop yourself sliding deeper in? I don't know.
I'll be fine.
Okay.
And they kind of grab the parchments that they've gotten out of their bag again and go into the bathroom and just close the door.
Okay, no problem. So you go into the bathroom and shut the door, leaving Timothy, Liana, and Virgil in the property. Finian hasn't come into the house with you. He's gone off with Thalia.
Mm-hmm.
To betray you all and plot your demise.
I've been waiting for it.
But the rest of you are in the property as well. Is there anything anybody would like to do?
Is the fireplace on? Is
No,
it lit?
it's not lit, no.
What are we guys feeling for? Are we hungry?
Yes, very actually.
All right. I can
always
make
eat.
something for us.
Do you
Have at
think
it.
they have meat here?
God,
I
hope so.
doubt it. Unfortunately, it's not. I'm sure they have dairy products, and
Well, that's not the same thing. Okay.
they might have eggs. They might have eggs.
Oh, eggs. I do like eggs.
So-
I'll have a look, and I'll start running in towards the sort of kitchen area and start looking through cupboards and things.
Leanna's just going to sit down in one of the large armchairs, and she's going to bring her feet up, so she's sitting like crisscross applesauce. And for the first time in a while, she's just going to and relax, and just try and chill out because it's been a bit of a hectic day.
Okay, Virgil, what are you doing?
Sort of watching everyone take to their little individual places to have a quick breather and whatnot. Virgil realizes he's carrying quite heavy things and isn't used to it, and the ache in one shoulder gets to him a little bit, so he looks for the big comfortable room, like he usually tends to do. Sort of looks around. Oh, there's more. No, it'll be fine. And walks into the big comfortable room, throws his stuff on the bed, and just starts to decompress in his own way. So he removes the boots. For the first time ever since he's actually been in this, takes the jumpsuit off all the way down and removes the whole thing, revealing what is a second smaller jumpsuit underneath. Which is essentially...
I love it.
Which is essentially just like black shorts and then the black shirt on top that meet in the middle, and it's just a shorter version of what he's got on. Removes all the gold and everything like that, and just takes a breath before walking into the living room with Leanna, looking to the fireplace and the hearth that aren't lit, and like clicking his nails. And Leanna would notice that you can see there's a small amount of, like, he's trying to create it and it doesn't seem to quite go until it does, and he's like, yes, there we go, that's what I wanted, right on. And then just flicks a fireball into the fireplace to ignite that, and then takes the other comfortable chair on the other side.
Did Leanna notice the new stuff that he had on him?
Yeah, he's been carrying it around.
Actually, the shield as well. I think she would have caught her eye.
Yeah.
Almost without even opening her eyes, just hearing you sit down in the room. Did you go shopping by any chance?
Edith asked me the exact same question. No, I didn't go shopping, love. I'm not that thoughtless.
I mean, it looked like pretty cool stuff. It doesn't seem thoughtless. It looked practical as well.
No, I got a little turned around when I was trying to find out information to potentially help Kyria get out of whatever was going on. And I ended up at a temple.
Oh, I haven't been there.
Oh, well, there's more than one. But I ended up at a very specific one. For Alaria, the serpent of all magic and time and fate. And I'm really not 100% sure, but it's something I've apparently sort of started on a path towards. I'm not sure. Something's changed. I'm not quite what I was before.
You started on a path to...
working with a deity, or asking them for help, in ways people do. Clerics, I think they're called.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
Hopefully. I want it to be. I don't really know. I just want to help. And quite frankly, my magic has been nothing but aggressive in these past couple of weeks, and it's not what I started learning it for.
I mean, I always kind of like those little faces that come out of your magic. There was one ball that looked a bit like a little demon and stuff. They're always pretty cool. I never thought them as, well, I suppose they are aggressive, but I mean, does that have to be a bad thing?
No, I mean, most of that's just imagination. Magic is very much a strength of character and will, and if you want it to bend to how you see it, it will. It was just flavor I put into my spells. I liked them. I read a lot of fantasy novels as a child, so I imagined my thunder spells looking like demons and my fire spells looking like imps and that kind of thing. And the more you practice and the more you add to it, the more they shape to how you will them to be. That's all that was.
Magic is weird.
So is hitting people with axes, but we each do what we do.
I mean, I don't think it's weird. It's very simple. You literally just swing and hit. I mean,
All right,
I
it's
hit
weird.
well, and you know, but I wouldn't say it's weird.
Well, okay, it's weird hitting people with your axe for sport, not survival. That'd be like me throwing fireballs at other wizards just because I wanted to see if they could take it.
Well, how'd you get good at throwing fireballs if you don't practice on other wizards?
Standalone targets. I mean, it's different, isn't it, really? It's not a test of strength, it's a test of will. I really want them to work well, so they do. Is the best way I can describe it, I guess.
Fair.
As Virgil slumps into the chair, you'll notice properly close at this time that his arms and sort of feet up to the mid-ankle have the same black gradient. On the tops of both of his feet, you see what looks like very, very, like, hidden tattooing because of the way it's gone. There's 2 tattoos on each feet that sort of lead around the ankle and seem to go towards the back of the leg. Like 2 straight lines come out from this circle you can see and then up the back of the leg on both feet. But yeah, he just sort of, that's what you would see from him as he sort of just slumps into the chair and just, oh, this is very comfortable. Do you think it's real?
What do you mean?
Well, this whole place is an enchanted grove, like they created it from magic. Do you think this is magic, or is it, like, what is it? Like, it's very fascinating to think about, really, if you stop to think.
Yeah, I now know how Edivir feels. I mean, I can feel it, so it's real. That's kind of the level I'm at. Like, if I can see it and I can feel it, then it's real. I don't really need to know where it came from.
Okay. No, I mean, I didn't expect you to. It's just my brain wondering if I'm in a house made of magic in a space that if it disappeared, what would happen? Did somebody think of that cellar down there and then worked it into the general... Yes, carry on. It's just me.
Looking at him a little bit, this is the first time I've kind of noticed the gradient, and because he's talked about his affliction, would I get that knowing my intelligence, would I think that that's part of his petrification, or would I think that that's just how Genassis are?
I don't think you would know either way.
Okay.
I think the easiest way to say that is you wouldn't know. Like you.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't mean to be insulting. I don't know if that's the right word. Is that, and she does point down to your feet and the gradient, is that what you meant about the whole, like your finger, is that as well? Is it going both ways?
Oh, yes. So it's an early signifier. So it grows. You're not born with it. It sort of starts as you come into teenage years, or if you have it, it will start from the fingers and the tips of the toes and just gradually work up. It's not the end of it. It's just how it starts, or it's how it is shown to be in an individual who has it.
So not all Genassis. I mean, I've seen Genassis before, but usually with a lot more clothes on. So
I mean, you're one to talk, not to be rude, but you don't really wear a lot. Fur isn't clothes, sweetheart.
I'm glad you think that. What I mean is that they normally have armor on in the arena, so they're covered a lot.
It runs on particular sides of it. It's a genetic trait. It runs on familial sides. It runs on my father's side, not on my mother's. So my father has it. His grandfather had it. His grandfather before him. I have acquired it, but my mother does not because she is of a different family.
Oh, it's like how I have my mum's blue eyes and not my dad's green eyes.
Yes, but it's not going to kill you.
Not that I know of.
If you die of blue eyes, then we're all doomed.
As this conversation continues, Kyria, you head off to the bathroom with parchment and ink.
So I think kind of behind a closed door, they like close it behind them and then they fully just collapse against it, kind of having masked just how exhausted they truly are. Because, they've got to keep the vibes up, they've got to keep the spirits up, pun intended. And they kind of look down at the slightly crumpled paper in their hands and just think, Virgil would hate how they're carrying this paper right now, before kind of beginning to run the bath. And is there like just a cabinet or something? Places the papers down on top of that and begins to write a letter, a very short letter, to Moore and Essen. Hi, love heart, where the dot on the I is. I know you must be really worried about me, but I'm okay-ish. I'm still with my friends. They're keeping me as safe as possible. When you next see me, I'm going to look a little different. But please don't be scared of me. We need to talk about Mum and Dad. We need to talk about why we left. I'm remembering. I don't know what you've kept from me, but I know you probably had your reasons. But I need to know now. I need to understand. Can I see you? Maybe when this is blown over? Love, crossed out, K, kiss. And then that's that. That is it.
Okay. It takes you longer to write this than you anticipate.
Yeah.
You struggle with some elements of this and find it hard putting ink on paper.
Yeah.
But after a while, you finish the letter to Moore and Essen.
Yeah.
Start rolling it up, tie it, and it's ready to go.
Okay.
But you... Go on.
I linger for a little bit as I put it on the side, having rolled it up. And everything is screaming at them that it's wrong not to have been like, oh, I love you, I miss you. But also they can't help but be a little bit angry in a way that they don't understand, because clearly Moore and Essen knew more than they ever would have possibly realized. And there is this kind of resentment, but also there's this raging battle between them of they likely did it for good reasons. They inevitably did. However, it's still information that's been kept a secret for the past 100 years. And they've been kept so sheltered and so, in a safe space that as soon as they've been thrust out into the real world, they feel like they're drowning. And kind of looking at the water as it rises in the bathtub, they kind of immediately just start thinking about the sensation of drowning again. And they flip off the water, like the tap, they stop it from running, and they just sit on the floor. Just staring at the bath water, not able to go in.
You sit there for a short time in your own thoughts with this sort of tennis match of thoughts and feelings going on in your head. The back and forth between how you feel like you should feel and how you do actually feel, and trying to tell the two apart.
Yeah.
There is... Go on.
There's also like a little, almost like a bit of magical energy bouncing around their head as they're concentrating on making sure that the invisibility still stays up as Edibir is out and about, because they have to concentrate it. And they're just kind of occasionally like tugging at that bond, essentially, as reassurance. And they keep saying in their head, never that far away, never that far away, while everything else is kind of warring inside of them.
Some time passes. The spell ends, and the realization of, I've been in here for nearly an hour.
Yeah.
My hair's not wet, they're gonna know. And you like rush over to the bath, get just a handful of water, and just kind of like run it through your hair and like onto the hair on your legs. So it kind of gives the appearance that you've been in the bath, though you haven't.
Yeah.
During this time, Pim, you rustle through the kitchen. You manage to find enough for a hearty meal. There is no meat, but you manage to find some really, quite well-stocked pantries full of vegetables and whatnot, and you create a quite hearty meal for everybody. As you're serving it out onto the dining room table, you give a call which echoes through the rooms of this property that dinner is almost ready. In the meantime, Edinburgh, you step out of the tree into the high city of Wyndmere. Under the illusion of invisibility, you do what exactly?
I'm going to head for Malgrave Manor.
Okay, so I will not require a stealth check. You are invisible. But you start swiftly moving your way across the high city. You know it's around a 15-minute journey from here to Malgrave Manor.
Yeah, I want to get I don't want to go on the grounds. I just want to get somewhere, maybe like on a roof or something like that, or in a tree, even better. Just so that I can see sort of like the front door and the gate, the front gate kind of thing.
Okay.
I'll do a little run around to see if there's I'll do a little circuit to see if there's like a back gate and stuff like that, I guess.
Okay, no problem. So as you cut across the high city, you in your travels you would walk past a couple of notable locations. So you would walk past the Hall of Heroes. The Hall of Heroes is a grand museum within the high city. You would also pass the Crimson Veil Theatre that you passed on your first visit here. You would also pass an unfamiliar location because it didn't look the same as it does now as you pass something called the Shifting Sands Casino. And as you pass that, your pace does slow ever so slightly as you look up, and it sticks out in your mind that building doesn't look the same as it did before.
Is this anywhere near where I was originally sent to like blow something up?
No, so you're towards the northern side now of the high city. So where you were the first time you visited the high city was the southeasterly point of the high city, which is where the embassy was for Solasta.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
As you continue on, you see Malgrave Manor ahead of you. For those at home who have missed our earlier episodes, Malgrave Manor is an architectural marvel as such, bending elements of classic and contemporary design. You see that the facade of it has been constructed of polished white stone in places, giving it almost like a pristine and ethereal appearance. You see Malgrave Manor sits atop this very slight hill, which kind of gives it the illusion that it's a taller building than it actually is from a distance. You see that it has large arched windows with intricate ironwork within the windows, which allows not only sunlight to flood in the interior, but the reflection of to bounce back towards the high city, giving it this appearance of beauty and light. You see, as you're getting closer to the property, the image of the winding path up to the wrought iron gate adorned with the prominent G within the middle of the gate that marks the entrance to the property. You see that the gate is flanked by stone pillars topped with lanterns, which are not currently illuminated but would be of an evening. It is getting towards early evening, so you would imagine that somebody will be coming out to light these very shortly. Beyond the gate, you see that it has a cobblestone sort of pathway leading up to the door as it kind of winds meticulously through lush gardens and manicured lawns and such. The grounds that surround Malgrave Manor are extremely horticultural. It's almost like it's a masterpiece, very well kept up. You see a variety of exotic plants, colourful plant beds. You see 2 sculptured topiaries on either side, one in the shape of a swan, the other just a kind of spiral shape as it kind of like sprouts from the ground. You see towards the main entrance of Malgrave Manor, towards the door to the property, sort of in the main courtyard at the entrance, you see that there is a marble fountain kind of sprouting, very not huge but decent enough size, and it kind of serves as a focal point to the front of the property. You see that towards the sides and dotted in and around the outer limits of the property boundary, there is a high wall, around 4 feet tall wall, with, again, wrought iron fencing attached to that to give an extra level of security as it winds around. And towards the inside of the wall from where you are, you see that all the way round are these tall, 8-foot tall kind of like hedges that go around the perimeter, giving not only privacy but an extra level of security. You, Edivir, you start running round towards the back of the property, and there is no rear gate, giving you the understanding that the only way in and out of this property without hopping a fence and jumping through bushes would be through the main gate. Make me a perception check, please.
Okay, that's good. 17 plus, I think it's +3, so it might be a dirty 20. Perception, yeah, +3, dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You see that where there wasn't previously on your first and only visits to this property, there are now 2 sets of guards. So you see there is a set of guards plus 2 SBC members at the very front of the property. You see that there are a number of city watch kind of posted around the outskirts of the property as well.
Okay. So I'm taking sort of just I'm staking out.
Okay.
I'm seeing if I'm going to stay for. It's taken me about 15 minutes to get here. What, about 15 minutes to scout the perimeter and stuff like that?
Yep.
So got about half an hour left on invisibility. So I'll just sort of use that to find a good vantage point, and I'll just be, keeping an eye on the front door, any movement in the windows, any figures I can see, and anyone coming and going from the main gate.
Okay, so as you're looking in and around the area for a good vantage point, you see a tall, towering structure that is a little bit south from where you are, but if you were to climb high enough, would give you a very good vantage point into the property and the grounds to see all the comings and goings.
Okay, is that the only sort of way in? Is there any large trees that I could use instead?
Not unless you were to go in the property. So within the property grounds, there are these tall, what look to be quite well-established trees. But as you get to the outskirts, it's very much an urban environment. So there is properties and whatnot. But to the tallest, through your profession and your skill set, you would know that the tower nearby would be the best vantage point.
Okay, yeah, fine.
There are other properties if you don't want to get as high up, and if you want to stay a little bit less seen.
I'm happy with that. I was just thinking like somewhere with a little bit more cover might be better. But if that's all inside the grounds, I'm not going to break my plan.
Okay, if you're looking for a place of cover, there are a couple of other properties nearby. Not so much a tower, which would give you the best vantage point, where you would see the entirety of the property. But
it's getting dark. I'll take that.
Okay, so you start going towards the tower and you begin to ascend. I'm going to need a couple of acrobatics checks, please, as you begin to ascend. As you're going to have to start... It is very large stones that have been used to kind of create this. So there is very small cracks and crevices to be able to like jam fingers in to begin to rock climb up. You would have to climb 50 to 60 feet before the tower has a ledge that you would be able to perch yourself upon.
Okay, so the first one was a 14.
Okay, fine.
Second one is better. That's a 24.
Excellent. So I'll take 2, so you're going 30 feet at a time, so that's why there was 2.
Okay, cool.
Up to that first ledge. If you want to climb higher, we can roll more. It's up to you.
I will sort of get a bead of the situation and the kind of view I have now. Can I also tell like what kind of structures? Obviously, quite a lot of things in this part of the city are quite important buildings. Like, what am I climbing right now?
So,
because I don't want to be climbing like the Arch Wizard's tower, who's just going to immediately just burn me to death.
You, at the very top of this tower, there is, and you can see this from across the city, there is a bright orange and red glow that comes from the top of this tower. You're unsure as to what causes that glow, but this glow is through the day, through the night. It is a constant glow of ambers and reds and oranges and yellows, almost to give you the impression that this, as you would imagine a lighthouse with a burning pyre at the top, it kind of gives you that impression that whatever's at the top of here, something is potentially on fire. But it acts as a beacon of light throughout the city.
Cool. I don't want to go too close to that then, but I'll sort of use it as cover.
Yep. So you climb to the top, and you're starting to keep an eye out for the comings and goings.
Mm-hmm.
So you're sat on this perch around 20 to 30 minutes. There isn't any comings and goings. You see there are 2 or 3 kind of pairings of guards that are patrolling the perimeter. So there is a smattering of guards that are stationed on post, like 30 feet to 40 feet from each other around the property, and then there are a contingent of these pairings of guards that are patrolling and just continuously patrolling around the perimeter of the property.
Mm-hmm.
You can guess that every 5-ish minutes, guards pass a particular point.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you're using the gate as the point. Every 5 minutes, 2 guards walk past.
Cool.
But
no one really coming or going, no?
Not within the first half an hour, no. You would know that you have around 10 minutes of this invisibility left.
Yeah, I'm going to stay even after that's gone. I'll just be
Okay.
more hidden.
Okay. I'll come back to you shortly.
Okay.
As we... Oh, God, lots of swapping and changing. 1 second.
Snake? Snake? Snake!
So tempted to go in there, man.
As we...
Cardboard box.
I've been seeing. I'm like 2 smoke bombs. We've got a fun little potion. If I get caught, I could probably get away.
So this, right?
As we rejoin the other members of this adventuring party, Pim, you call out across the property, "Dinner's nearly ready!" To which you hear the bathroom door open, and Kyria walks out. Virgil, Liana, you get up from your armchairs from in front of the fireplace, almost falling asleep before the call reverberates off every wall within the property that there is food available. And as you all make your way towards the dining room, you hear a doof, doof, doof on the door.
I'll get it.
Are we expecting guests?
Don't worry, I'll get it. You carry on doing what you're doing. And
Okay.
I open the door, tentatively.
You see-
on the corner.
You see Finian without the hood off, just kind of looking, going, "Really?" And he just puts his hand on the door and just pushes it open and steps in and goes, "I was being polite. That was rude. Who were you expecting?"
I don't know, and that's the point.
Well,
Jeez.
I think it's a force of habit at this point.
it's not me you should be worried about. It's the ogres and trolls that I brought with me to, squish you into a little paste. And he just walks past.
Do you want food?
Deep inhale. He goes, that smells amazing. What is that?
There's Pim-made food. Are you being serious about the ogres? We've had a bad thing about trolls. So.
Oh. Cool. And he just continues to walk off down the hall.
I kind of slammed the door with more force than I intend.
And just kind of walks towards the dining room as you all kind of rejoin each other in this one room. Who cooked that? Pim, did you cook that?
Yeah.
That smells really good.
Well, thank you. And Pim's just sitting on the chair, like at the dinner table, whilst plates are being handed out by not him, but the unseen servant that he's summoned to hand out the plates.
Amazing. So these plates just begin to like float off the side and seemingly float off the side and onto the table.
I don't know. I felt lazy.
Do you mind if I join you for dinner?
No, of course. There's another plate coming.
You were a lot faster than I imagined you'd be.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Why? Where did you think I went?
To do whatever it is you said you had to do. The promise you had to keep.
Oh, no, I've not done that bit yet.
Oh, okay. So you went out, did something else, came back for dinner, and then you moved out again.
I didn't go anywhere. I've been next door.
There's a house next door?
Yeah, Thalia's house. Where have you been?
Oh God, can she hear us? Oh no, the walls might be thin. What, everyone low voices?
No, you don't need low voices. You can trust Thalia. I trust her.
I trust her, I just don't like her.
Oh yeah, I'd probably whisper that bit.
Anyway, sit down. What's the word?
No, it was more. I was just checking that things weren't gonna have repercussions.
Yeah, probably a good idea. She said she couldn't be angry with me because I'm cute. So I don't think there's repercussions for me, but I think you might be in the hot zone.
Oh no, I didn't mean that. You guys really have a bad way of picking up half sentences and running with them, don't you?
Courier at this point kind of trudges in. It's like, hi.
Oh, hello.
You okay, darling? You were in there for a while.
Oh yeah, just soaking, you know. And kind of goes to give the Raven like an over-the-shoulder hug as he's like laid down and just like puts the scroll into like his pocket.
Yep. And as he kind of spots that, looks at you and just kind of like nods and hugs you back and goes, "You okay?"
Yeah, just tired.
Okay.
As they walk in, does their midsection look noticeably dry compared to everything else?
No, because
not naked.
They are fully dressed.
Yeah.
Does their face look dry?
It doesn't look suspicious, mate.
No, it's fine. I don't know.
I guess their hair is drying faster than if it had been fully submerged, but like I don't know if you're going to be paying that much attention when it's shock white.
Yeah.
Didn't know if you were coming in topless. That's all I was asking.
No. Just got a loosely buttoned blouse.
So Finian sits at the table and kind of so how are we all feeling? Good?
Yeah.
Look, with the arrival of those ships are going to come a lot of attention. Tension is going to rise throughout the city. I would imagine that there's going to be every guard, every SBC member possible out on the city streets going forward. The maneuvering around the city is going to become increasingly difficult from this point on.
Yeah, that feels like a theme at this point. Every time we come back in, it seems just harder to get around.
Well, look, you're all sat here with a bounty on your head, wanted criminals in the eyes of the law. Whether you've done or not done what they say you've done or not done doesn't matter anymore. In the eyes of the law, you're wanted criminals, you're escaped convicts, and your faces are everywhere in the city. lower, middle, under, high, every part of this city.
Who put out? Well, why did the bounty appear? It wasn't originally there. Is it because they attribute us to the
I don't know.
factory? Or
I don't know. I don't know, but whoever is behind this is making moves behind the scenes that we're not aware of. I don't know. I wish I did.
Here's another question, though. Kyria, you said that Tanner was having a bunch of our posters, right?
Yeah, they were all on the table.
Now, seeing as he's a bastard,
Sorry,
understandable. What? I'm not even going to apologize.
I mean, I think you can just swear at this point. You've said that at least 4 times after you've sworn. Just accept it.
I've only said it twice.
What are you saying, Pim?
It's understandable that we are on his hit list, is all I'm saying. But what about the 6th person? The old
Well, I
guy.
don't know if I'm thinking that maybe Tanner was just distributing them, like
Yeah, well,
covering them around the Undercity.
yeah, well, even so, like he has a bounty on his head, but the only difference that I could see, or the major difference, is that they want him alive. Like, who is he?
Oh, 2 seconds. And Virgil gets up, clumps off to a room somewhere. You hear a bit of rustling, comes back, and then places the poster he took from when he was walking through the middle city looking at posters and stuff, and just places it on the middle of the table of the 6th man. And sort of looks around and goes, our posters are in the middle of the city as well. When I was walking back, I had a look. They are plastered, few and far between, but enough of our faces are around for people to know, as is this person's. And I don't really know why they want him or who they are. Do you recognize them at all, Finian?
And he kind of picks the parchment up, spoons a mouthful of food into it, and goes, no, not that kind of hell. But I suppose, I could ask.
Could you swallow and say that one more time?
You were raised in the streets, weren't you?
He could ask.
Sorry, I said not really, no, but I could ask. I could go and I could ask. I have a couple of contacts throughout the city that might know who this is. But look, if people know who this is and haven't handed this person in yet, then it just means that they are connected in places that...
Well, it must mean that they're really connected because he's remaining anonymous. He still isn't named even by the authorities.
Which means
They really want him alive.
Well, yeah, which means he has ways of, keeping himself under the radar. May not even be in the city anymore.
My theory, and it's a far-fetched one, but I'm just thinking that, we are all good guys, right? And we are all on wanted posters. What if he's a good guy and he maybe could help us?
Well,
He left as soon as Ediviron chained him. That's not very good.
but
No, but maybe he knew that Tanner was an arsehole.
But maybe, well, either way, they could. They don't know if they're connected to any of this.
That's true.
It might
But
just be looking for him because he also broke out. I mean, it would be a bit weird if they weren't looking for him, to be fair. Actually, I would think that would be much more suspicious if they weren't looking for him and they were looking for us.
Yeah, but why do they want him alive, though, and the rest of us dead
What does
or
it say
alive?
his crime was?
It didn't say what his crime was, did it? It just said...
I'm not going to repeat that information. This is...
Well, can I just
scroll
look at
through my
it?
notes?
I know, but the one thing's gone. That's where it all was.
If Leanna just looks at the poster, she's never seen the poster before.
Then you look at the poster.
What do I see?
A poster.
that says
We're not getting around it. We're not.
You're
we've got
not.
to find
I'm
it.
not doing this. This is a lesson in taking notes in D&D. You need to start taking notes and reading your notes.
Tina
And
didn't see it. This
Well-
is the first time she's seen it.
look, I'm just saying.
Trafficking
play-
of illicit materials.
That was it.
There you go.
Maybe his crime's just less.
Well,
I was caught by a grave. I don't think that's why.
sorry, I didn't mean to. But like, this was wonderful. And he kind of like Finian shoves the bowl a little bit forward and goes, "But I really must be heading out now. It's pretty much nightfall. I have some things to do. Edivir isn't back yet, so I need to be quick. I need to move across the city quite swiftly, and then I'll check in once I've done what I need to do. And if you've still not heard from Edivir, then I'll circle around the high city and see if I can catch sight of him."
Okay. Be careful. Okay.
I always am.
Mr. Raven, I'm going to give my card to Pim.
Bad idea.
Nigel.
Okay, I'll take that.
It's mine still. You're not taking it from me again. Just
didn't
because I'm
take it from
probably
you the
going to
first
fall
time.
asleep. You tried. Don't even.
Yes,
tried to kid
because
me.
we didn't know
You
the
tried
Raven
to-
was an ally at the time. It could have been anything.
I did.
No, you didn't.
The Raven, like Finian, just kind of looks and goes. And with that, stands and just goes, "Well, rest up, and when you've all got your strength back in the morning, you need to start figuring out what to do next and what we're going to do next. I'm with you on this."
It needs to end soon.
Well, I don't think we have much time left. So if we can't within the next day or so, then it might not be a bad idea just to head out of the city, leave this godforsaken place, and start anew elsewhere.
Take the ship.
Look, it's an option. It's not running away. It's
Living to
Preserv-
fight
it-
another day.
it's preservation. Yeah. This city is a fickle place. It'll keep people here if it can. There are people that have come here from other lands, other continents, and just can't get out of this place through circumstance alone. We're not those types of people. All right? But I'll take your lead. Whatever you feel is the right course of action, fine. But for that, we'll need our strength. All of it. All right?
Okay.
Right.
I'll see you all soon.
See you soon.
My compliments to the chef. That was delicious, by the way. Really good. And just like begins to walk out the room. You can tell that like Finian strikes you as the type of person that doesn't eat good food often.
Yeah.
So like every good meal is very much like a highlight of his week. That was legitimate, like a very like a rudimentary vegetable stew or like whatever it was. And to him, it was like the best cuisine. Like,
Yeah, like Michelin star level.
yeah.
As he walks out, Pim just goes,
We need to bring him to the Smorgasbord Festival. He's gonna love it.
This is Small Balls Festival?
It's a thing.
That's getting clipped because, and I will replay that over and over. That'll be our most viewed clip, and it will
Let's
just be
not
me.
go to the Small Balls Festival. Shall we?
Welcome to Tales on Tap, a highly professional D&D stream where we say everything right. Never.
As Mr. the Raven leaves, he just hears in his head, "Thank you."
You hear in your head. Thank you too. Edivir.
Yep.
Yep.
Your invisibility fades. You find yourself perched on this tower a further 30 minutes. Nightfall is coming and creeping over the horizon. The skies around you darken.
Cool.
You see within that time you see a house serve from the from Malgrave Manor step out from the front door, kind of walk, light all the lanterns that dot the perimeter of this place, including 2 lanterns affixed to the wall either side of the main gate and the main front door of the property before entering back in. And you see systematically throughout the interior of the property, through the windows, you see the luminescent glow of light sources being lit throughout the manor. Mm-hmm. As you get to the end of this time and you're kind of like swinging your leg off the edge of this ledge, kind of, it's almost that point where you're like, okay, it kind of feels like 15 minutes has passed, but I know an hour has passed. My bum's getting a bit numb, like I'm getting cold. And as you start battling that decision of, okay, I've been here long enough, I need to start heading back. And as you kind of begin to start getting yourself ready to make the descent, a carriage pulls up in front of the manor. You see from inside the property boundaries, the gates swing open and 6 guards walk out of the gates to form a sort of a line with 3 guards on each side between the carriage and the main gate of the property. Mm-hmm. Make me a perception check, please.
I'm going to use my inspiration.
Okay.
Much better. 18.
18. You see exiting the carriage a number, about 4 or 5 individuals. One sat or stood on the back of the carriage, steps off. You see that it's difficult to see as it's getting dark, but it could be black, could be navy blue, but a darkened kind of overcoat on with a kind of a horned helm atop their head. So it kind of the horns protruding from both sides of this helm on their head. Mm-hmm. You see stepping out of the carriage 2 individuals that you have seen before. The first one, Thessel, the silver-haired elven individual, steps out and almost instinctively steps to one side and kind of holds the door of the carriage open. The next individual is another person that you have met before in Gideon Malgrave. And he steps out of the carriage 2 or 3 paces and then turns to look at the carriage. The next individual, and you see that the carriage kind of like juts ever so slightly and kind of like tilts a little bit towards the door. As you say, another individual step out. This person you do not recognize.
Okay.
You see a sort of a very heavy set individual, very round, rotund, carrying a lot of baggage, so to speak, as they kind of like poof and shift and struggle to get out and like kind of like almost miss a step and hit, like kind of shuffle out, and it kind of like as if they've committed to leaving and have no choice now. As they kind of like drop out and kind of like catch their feet a little bit before kind of standing up and straightening themselves. You can't tell features as such. Darkened hair. You see kind of long darkened hair. Could be black, brown. Hard to tell again from this distance. And you also see another individual step out. You see a slender female figure step out, adorned in armor. You see that they have a shock of reddish orangey hair that kind of like gets to around shoulder length, ever so slightly curled but not too much. Very not messy, but kind of like has been set that way that morning, right?
Well, I recognize this as a different individual to Alara Shadow Dancer.
Yes, you do, yeah. Because Alara has long hair. Alara's came down
pink hair.
Exactly.
Oh, was it
yeah.
pink? Sorry.
It was, yeah. Yeah. So you see that the two individuals, so you see Thessel and the individual with the horned-rimmed helm and the reddish-haired individual towards the back, and you see Malgrave and the heavy-set individual walking ahead. So about 5 or 10 paces between them. As the procession moves towards the gate, you see the individual. So both Thessel and the horn-rimmed helmed individual are looking around to ensure that there is no like watchful eyes in the vicinity. That nobody sees you at this point, but anyone close by, and you see that there are 2 other people walking just down the street towards where the carriage is, and the individual with the horn-rimmed helm kind of spots them, points towards two of the guards, and points towards the individuals. You see the guards run at a jog, kind of intercept, and as they do, just arms open and just turning them around immediately, turn them around and start pushing them in the other direction, as if to keep them away from the entrance at this moment. The gates still open, and as the 5 individuals walk through the gate, you see the guards, as they pass, join this procession between them, and as they walk through the gate, until all 6 of the guards that were on point at that stage are now filtered in, walking behind and 2 in front of the procession as it walks towards Malgrave Manor. Okay. As they get towards the entrance of this, you see Thessel's hand go woof and up in the air, and as it does, everyone disappears. So you see them walking,
enter the building.
Before they even enter the building, you see him go and click his fingers, and it just seems so they just vanish from sight.
Everyone.
All of them. The guards, Malgrave, Thessel, the procession as a whole just vanishes as if it wasn't there. And that is where we're going to go for a quick break.
Okay. Cool.
Interesting.
Into
Big
that
illusion.
So, we will be back in about 15 minutes. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back shortly. Goodbye.
Goodbye. See you soon.
The Into the Wilds Battlemap book series from Tom Kartos returns with Volume 3, the Urban Edition. Into the Wilds is a collection of fully customizable, biome and region themed battlemap books for your favourite tabletop RPG. They are ideal for preset or random encounters, so you can be fully prepared no matter which direction your players choose to head in. Volume 3 includes castles and keeps, towns and cities, and traders and dwellings. Everything you need for an urban-based campaign. The returning volumes 1 and 2 include a variety of overworld and underworld maps for travels through the wilderness. The battle maps come in 2 variations: a fully furnished, highly detailed version with props and assets already placed, and a second unfurnished version for you to customize however you need with the included reusable asset stickers or that trusty dry erase marker. Each set also comes with the complete digital bundle for online play. Whether you play in person or online, the Into the Wild series contains everything you need to tell an immersive and compelling story with your friends. Back Into the Wilds Volume 3 on Kickstarter now.
Aerilon, a constellation of 10 mysterious floating islands that hang in the stratosphere, each a unique treasure trove of different cultures, factions, and environments. Here, high above and obscured from the forgotten realms below, magic courses through the very air you breathe. In these lands, bravery forges destinies, and a legendary journey is about to begin. As the mysteries of this strange land are being unraveled, a malevolent power seeks to shroud this wondrous realm in eternal darkness. But where there is darkness, there will always be those who rise to meet it. Brave souls will have to confront horrors that defy imagination and unravel secrets that question the very essence of magic itself. In the face of adversity, would-be heroes must find the strength in each other and the bonds they forge with the people of Aerilon. For it's the power of unity, resolve, and courage that will carry them forward through the skies. Embark on a destined journey aboard a skyship to discover verdant forests, sun-blasted deserts, winter tundras, bustling cities, mountains, and depths. This is Aerilon, and it's here that our journey begins. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Just double checking that my mic is on this week because I didn't do that last week. So, we are back. Thank you so much for sticking with us during the break. Edivir, this is the site that you see atop this ledge on this tower. You see the individuals walk through the gates towards Malgrave Manor, and then Thessel throw his arm up and poof, they vanish.
Okay. Are there any guards remaining at the gate still?
Yes, so all the guards that had been posted, stationed around the perimeter, and the ones that are walking the perimeter, as well as the 2 SBC members who were at the gate, are still there.
Okay. How far from the gate were they when they disappeared in feet?
On the inside, around 25 to 30 feet.
Okay.
So they made it a good third of the way to the door.
Okay. Am I... Ooh, that's... So they only made it a third. Okay.
But as you see they disappear, it also then begs the question, what else disappeared?
Right,
who else disappeared?
I can still see like all the manor and stuff remains as it was, yeah?
Yep, with lights on, all the rest of it. Yep.
Okay. Am I, just because I don't know also how far back on this tower I am from the perimeter of the fence, would it be, am I a distance where I could sort of throw something to land roughly where they were when they disappeared?
Nowhere near. You're about 150 to 200 feet away. And then a further 60 feet up. You're a good distance. Even with your best throw, you're probably going to hit the middle of the street and not even get to the property.
Even my crossbow's max range of 120, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. That's disappointing. But I'm not going to go against what I promised my friends, even though I really want to. And I'm like, I could probably get away with that, but I'm not going to. This is something that we need to focus on as a team. But Edivir, as he was watching these people get out of the carriage and stuff like that, he just kind of started talking to himself, and he said, "This is one of ours. I can tell. I can feel it. Show me the opportunity. Deliver me their neck, and I will deliver them to your judgment." And then I'll slide down well, not slide down the tower, but I'll begin to descend the tower.
Okay, acrobatics check, please. I'll only take 1 because it's a lot quicker descending than it is ascending.
Yeah.
Are you doing the
It's a natural 20, baby.
So essentially, you jump off the tower, dig a dagger in, and just drag yourself down the tower on your dagger until you hit the floor, and just and pull the dagger back.
That because at the bottom of the scratch that I made on the wall, I'm going to take out my piece of chalk, and in thieves' cant, in chalk on the wall at the bottom of the slice down the tower, I'm going to write, "You will regret crossing." And then in common, below that, I'm going to write a big US.
Nice.
I feel like Tanner's probably the kind of guy that would understand thieves' cant.
Okay.
If he ends up around this way, I'm going to leave a little message for him.
Okay. I like that.
So the "you will regret crossing" is in thieves' cant, and then there's just a big US below it. Us. And then I will get the fuck out of there and start heading back towards the tree.
Okay, so I'm going to need a succession of stealth checks from you, please. As you all know, the High City is heavily patrolled. Edivir, as you were making your way to Malgrave Manor, you knew that there were a higher volume of City Watch and SBC on the streets this evening.
Yeah.
So
you still have the robe, right?
I do have the smoky robe, but I'm not using that right now.
Okay. The other robe.
It might draw a bit too much attention.
However, it is well illuminated, so I'm going to need 4
Ooh.
stealth checks, please.
Any
Come
trouble
on.
points? First one. It's good. It's 22.
Okay.
Nice.
Second one. It's good.
Nice.
It's 20. It's 17 plus 8.
Okay.
25.
25.
So it's got 7. Can't do 7. It's 25. Second one is 26. Third one,
Nice.
sorry, it's 26. Purple dice, you are doing me well. Don't fuck with me now. Final one is a 10 for an 18.
An 18. Okay. You, on your way there, managed to spot and keep track of a number of less lit alleyways and ginnels. For those of you tuning in from America, a ginnel in the UK, in the northern part of the UK, is an alleyway.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. You see, this is
Thank
why
you
you
for
should.
explaining that for me.
Yeah,
was gonna
you
say,
should.
And
This
me.
is
that.
this is why you should tune into Tales on Tap. It's just a learning experience every single week. We learn things here.
Or you
Do
go on
I-
like a murder mystery tour and they always point out a ginnel.
Yep,
I don't know why. Always.
ginnels are
Do
class.
I
Right?
do I at any point pass the fountain of wine that I saw?
No, so that's on the westerly point of the high city. The chalice that you're referring to.
The chalice of flowing wine, yeah.
Exactly. Well, it's called the Colossal Chalice.
Okay, well.
But yes.
Didn't know that. Don't care. Want to blow it up?
Fucking-
You have my motivations completely wrong, good sir.
You have misread this situation.
Don't make me like it.
So you don't pass there, no. However, what you do pass on the way back, or you don't really pass it, but you get sight of the Wyndmere Council Hall. The Council Hall is an impressive structure with huge marble columns, a large dome, intricate stained glass windows. The stained glass windows itself depict various scenes, and it's almost like it's portraying or depicting, the city's history at various stages. So you see a very a city without walls, very rudimentary kind of village-esque style, and then there's palisades and stuff around, and a wooden wall surrounding a larger area, and it just kind of goes on depicting it.
This is interesting, actually. So as I'm sort of passing through this area and I'm sort of scoping out this courtyard where this council chamber thingy is, it's getting later, right? So there's not. Is it in session? Are there people coming in and out? Are there official-looking people?
No, there is not. No, it is nighttime, and there is nobody in and out. The doors seem shut and barred.
Okay, never mind then. I'll continue.
Okay. You continue on, very stealthy, keeping yourself to the shadows as much as possible until you get to the edge of the botanical garden. And you begin to start making your way across the grass towards the large tree. I'm going to change that every time now. You journey forth until you you get to...
I like journey forth.
Me too. Until you get to around halfway between the tree and where you've just been, and you hear a voice behind you. Don't move, you. Hands above your head now.
Can I tell whether this is anyone? Do I recognize the voice?
No, you
Someone
don't.
playing a trick on me?
You don't. No, you don't recognize the voice at all.
Kill him.
Smoke bomb.
You smoke bomb.
Run.
Just and you begin to run, and you do hear a familiar voice then go, wait, no, wait, I was just fucking around. As you hear the
my sprint will slow to a jog.
Yeah, you turn around and Finian is just like,
As the smoke dissipates between us.
yeah.
Is now really the time?
Well, I knew you'd be on edge.
Do I
thought
strike
it'd
you
be-
as the Joker of the group?
No, but I thought I'd find a lot of amusement in it. Like, you're on high alert, you're really tense, you hear a tense voice behind you, you panic a little bit. I thought that was going to be amusing. I didn't think you were going to just run.
You're very lucky I was in a running mood.
What other moods do you have?
Killing mood. What do you want?
Yeah, okay. So to be honest, they're the only two I've ever seen, so that kind of
Those are the
makes...
only two I have.
I don't believe you. Anyway, let's go in. After you. And he points to the tree and just stands there with a little smirk on his face.
I'll put my hand on the tree.
Yeah.
Arbor vitae.
Your hand begins to push through. And you hear Finian go, "Yay, you did magic!" And just walks in behind you. And he steps through, and as you kind of step through the precipice into the glade again, he turns and just goes, "So?"
There's definitely something going on.
I thought as much. I went across the city. They're everywhere. The Watch, SBC, the streets are littered with them. Like, they're on every corner. They're everywhere. They've doubled the guard at every point in and out of the high city. The skyport is, from what I've seen, on complete lockdown. There is a large ship in the port, but every other one seems to be above the city. And it's almost like the ships are at all edges of the city and kind of with cannons kind of pointing in towards, like, they are not fucking around.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah, I've always.
I'm starting to worry that the mission we're on is becoming out of reach. Whoever's at Gideon Malgrave's place right now seems important. Seems connected to this arrival.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to walk away from this. But my priorities are changing.
Well, between...
Can't speak for the rest of them. I mean, they've got more skin in the game with this city than I do. But there's only one reason I'm still here. Well, 2 reasons. Well, he looks over at the hut. 6 reasons.
Yeah. Look, between...
7.
I appreciate that, but look, between me and you, this was all fun, and, you know, we were making headway when we had full access to the city, we had connections, we could move around semi-freely, and we could try and find answers, but those answers have now led to an armada on our doorstep, people connected in places that we will never reach, people that hold sway over forces far exceeding our own. If we go up against that, there's no telling what could come out of it. Like, this could be it. And really, we're doing this for what? What's the reason? Revenge? Vindication? We've already stopped the flux from hitting the city, but the flux hitting the city to me was leverage. For what, I don't know, but it wasn't... Nobody's going to impart that on a city just to get people high and make them lose their shit for no reason.
Well, look, whatever flux was, whatever reason we were put on the task of trying to end it, it's happened now. I think trying to stop it is like saying trying to stop this morning from coming.
Yeah. A lot of this seems inevitable.
It's already happened. We were ahead of it before we started. We were behind it before it started, and we still are.
Yeah. And this is it. Like, whoever is behind this has always been one step ahead. They have everything that we've done together up till now seems that at every turn there is something that's either at work ahead of us, manipulating things around us, shifting chess pieces on the board without us even having a turn yet. Now, if that's the case, then you're just fall guys. You're just here to hit the gallows to put someone else in a position where they benefit. You don't from this. Now, look, I'm not saying that as a group you're not capable. You are. I've seen it firsthand. We're more than capable together. But is it just a folly? Are we really about to head into something?
Let me stop you there. I think you're misunderstanding me. The reason for staying in this city was to try and free or clear our names. I don't think that is as a likely outcome as it once was. I think we did the job, the damage is done. They didn't hold up their end of the bargain, and now we're fucked. Maybe there's someone else we can talk to, someone we can gather evidence about this and bring it to, but like I said, there's only one reason I'm here now. That's to stick by this lot and to make the people who wronged us regret doing that. I don't give a fuck about politics. I don't give a fuck about all these things going on in the city. I have no skin in the game. I know Kyria has family here.
Then it is revenge.
I know. What's wrong with revenge?
Look, it can be a great motivator, but it doesn't lead to clear thought. It clouds judgment. Now, it's a great motivational driver towards a goal, sure. And it can light a fire under a person that can literally make them run through walls, but this is different, Edivir. What we could be going up against is it just, unless we can come together and formulate a plan where we all get out of this alive.
But if not us, who?
Look,
we can't sit around waiting for things to get better for us while everything gets worse for everyone.
But some fights are unwinnable.
That's what the people who fear defeat want you to think.
No, but when you face unescapable odds that are stacked heavily out of your favor, you have to do something to shift the favor back in your balance. And right now, I don't see what that is. Unless you guys have got any great ideas as to how we swing this back in our favor, I'm at a loss. Like, you turn around and tell me that the people that you thought you could trust turned against you. Who can we call on?
Each other. It's more than I had to call on before this. And yeah, sometimes I failed, sometimes I succeeded. Sometimes the odds were stacked against me, sometimes I turned them to my favor. Running away doesn't solve anything. Hiding doesn't solve anything.
Then let's hope that that's enough. Let's hope that being together is enough. Because if it's not, then we could be staring down the barrel of something terrible. And I'm too pretty to go to jail.
You are, yeah. Well, one thing's for certain, the terrain has changed. The mission has changed. The situation has changed. The clock has shortened. I guess we all need to make a collective decision about what's important.
Well, just know that whatever decision you make, stay, go, fight, run, I'll be there. All right.
Appreciate that.
Kind of grown to like you guys.
Yeah. It's annoying, isn't it?
Yeah. It really is. Like, this is new to me. And I get the sense it's new to you too.
Yeah, reluctant at first as well. But
Well, look. We'll figure it out together, yeah?
sure. And don't worry, I'm not. Despite what you may have seen, well, actually, you hadn't got there yet, but I lost my rag a little bit when we fought Tanner, when Kyria was on the line. I lost my focus. Maybe that's why Tanner got away. Maybe that's why Kyria's still with us. But I'm not one to go rushing into something stupidly. I've learned that lesson.
Then let's go and formulate a plan. Whose phone was that?
Mine.
Disadvantage on your next roll?
Damn it. I've got everything on silent. How did that happen? Literally everything is on silent. Everything is on silent.
Right. Well, let's go. And
I'll just walk through the door.
yeah, as the rest of you are sat there, so we're kind of going to turn back time a little bit. The rest of you are currently sat as the Raven leaves and heads out into the night. The four of you are sat at the table.
Leanna's kind of just been pushing the vegetables around in the stew, kind of looking for something. Figuring she's not going to find it. She takes a good few, she rushes it down. It's like, okay. That was lovely. And she's going to get up and...
You realize I just bought a lie from a mile away, right?
It's better than the food I had in the arena.
That's true.
And
The bar is so low.
she's gonna get up and she's gonna go over and grab her club.
Okay.
I'm gonna go out and train for a bit. I think I'm gonna need to know how to use this sooner rather than later. So she's just gonna find just a clearing that she's not going to hit anything. So something she can swing it around.
Yep.
And
I try and avoid the plants too,
sure.
right, Pim?
Yeah. Also, that reminds me, I need to apologize to a stone.
Okay. Don't question it by now.
Yeah. So you go outside and begin to start training with the club, right?
You said that it takes half hour for a training session.
Nope, an hour.
An hour.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can get 2 in before I go to sleep.
You can do 2 hours, but it only counts as 1 skill check. You can only do 1 skill check per session a day.
I'll have to do 1 then.
Because it's exhausting. Your focus.
I know.
It takes a lot of effort to learn a new skill. So to do this in D&D, we class it as an hour. You have an hour of focus time. If it was a book and it would take a certain number of hours to read that book before you learn the skill, then it works on that. But this is a set amount of skill checks to gain proficiency with the club to use
As I'm
it.
swinging it, I'm going to be reciting names as I do swing the club about.
Okay. Go ahead and make me an athletics check then, please, as you try to master this weapon.
I will one day. Okay, athletics is +5, so that went under my... it says 18 + 5, 23.
Okay. The club during this session becomes a little bit easier to wield. Like, you're beginning to get a better sense of the balance of the weapon. What was kind of throwing you at first with this club is it's very much top heavy. So it was very, it takes a while to adjust to that. And through this hour, you feel like your back and shoulder and chest muscles begin to start burning as you're training with this weapon. It's taking a lot out of you. But that is a success. So that is your second success.
Okay.
The DC will now increase again for your next roll. Okay.
No worries.
Cool. So that's 2 of 5.
So that's what I'm doing for the next hour.
Okay. Excellent. Leaving Pim, Kyria, and Virgil at the kitchen table. Getting to the end of dinner at this point.
Pim, if you have to apologise to a stone, that implies that stones have sentience.
Oh, well, I'm not sure if they do or not, but
I don't think you need to be apologising to stones.
Well, I got a little bit angry earlier.
What did you
I
do?
know. I crushed part of a stone.
With your fist?
Yeah.
Your regular
You-
fist?
Like, secretly really strong, and we just don't know it.
But to be fair, I didn't know that I was either. I'm kind of as shocked as you are. But
Pick me up!
I can try. I don't. I'll jump off my stool.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, I need to jump.
Yeah.
And I'll walk over and I'm gonna try and do the same thing as I did when I pulled the stone. I'm gonna try and channel and see if I can muster some strength.
Okay, so this will be another D100.
Yep. Okay. 51.
You grab round Kyria's waist and start to channel the strength as best you can, and you begin to try and hoist Kyria up. Their tiny little satyr hooves lift around 2 or 3 millimeters off the ground before back down again.
Sorry.
This is so good!
Well, it's a work in progress. Anyway, Virgil,
Yeah, yes.
sorry, I wasn't eavesdropping, but I sort of can't help it with my ears. I sort of hear stuff.
You hear everything. It's fine. We've come to know this by now.
Did you say Alaria?
Yes, I did.
Liam, with the stories that Grandpa told me, and my proficiency in religion, which I don't know why I put there, but I have it. So, how much would I know about Alaria, and
Probably
would
as
they
much.
have?
Yeah, probably as much as Virgil at this stage. So you know that Alaria is the god of magic, fate, and time. That they are well known as the serpent god.
Yeah. Would I know anything about if Alaria would have any connection towards Loria?
You don't know. They are adjacent, but they are not akin, if that makes sense. So they are.
No, but there's no stories of them.
Not that you've been told. No, not
no.
that you've been told.
Okay.
So, don't get me wrong. It's really nice to have someone else talking to gods, but how did it come about?
I've told this story about 4 times now. I was looking through the middle city, trying to get my way to the library, as I do, to look through my books, to try and find answers to the problems that were before me. Stress got me turned around, fear got me lost, and I ended up kind of collapsing on the stairs leading to the temple. At which point, a very nice man picked me up, brought me inside, kind of talked me through some of it, and I sat in a very magical place. You could feel it on the air. It was strange. It was almost like a mist or fragrance. It was odd, but he told me that a lot of people rely on beings other than themselves for aid when it comes to helping, and God knows that's all I've wanted to do since I started to learn the arcane, and maybe this will help me to do that better. Not saying I'm, going to be a cleric. I've never really spoken to whatever it is I was up there, or how many of them are, or I don't know, but it's a start. It's an attempt at being better than I was, I suppose.
Well, I mean, first step is just to talk to them. That's what I do. Also, it's quite interesting that you got lost and, just happened to end up at a temple of fate.
Yes, that's what he said as well, and yes, it's... Call it fate, call it coincidence, I don't know. I don't know what I believe anymore, quite frankly.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I didn't know if this was really involving me, but I am just sat here, so
I mean, it's fine. It's the same as you two having a conversation in front of me not 5 seconds earlier. It's fine.
okay,
It's sort of
I'm just hopping in.
Yeah, no,
More. I think she follows the serpent one.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I really need to apologize to them. Okay, it's good to know I'm not the only one.
I think you got on really well.
We will get on really well.
That's the spirit.
That's what I'm apparently trying to talk to, so yes. I don't know.
You are talking to me, though.
That's I don't know if that's a joke or it's clever or it's just a bad
I'm
taste,
a spirit.
but yes, no, I get the...
It was funny.
Yes, it was, I suppose.
Ever the more funnier now that I've explained it.
Well, now
I
I got
jokes
it.
usually work, yes. Yeah. I don't know. What are we doing?
A coffee.
Oh, do we have mints?
Morning.
Those little
No.
thin ones, the little black squares. I do like those after dinner.
Oh, they're nice.
I think sleep is probably a good idea. Probably come up with a plan in the morning.
I
was
go for
actually
it. Carry on.
thinking about maybe have a quick chat to well, I don't know, maybe I could do another spirit walk whilst I'm still here. If we're going to go away, it's probably going to be a while before I can do it again. So I thought I'd go and check if I can do another one.
I mean, I suppose you could see if you can stack them this close together. I don't really know the time between buffs, but
I have
go,
no
see
idea.
what needs to be done. You might as well. Like you said, we're probably... Well, I believe we should leave, but that's just me. I don't know what Eddie's going to say when he returns, but this is very large. Very large. And we are not prepared.
Do you think it's easy to break into a prison?
It's good to know you take in what I say, Pim. I imagine it's very difficult to break into a prison.
Got to be easier than breaking out, right?
Fucking hell, that was like a Doug from Up, wasn't it? Squirrel!
It's just that I get what you're saying. We probably need to leave, and now I know that my parents are not on this continent, so it's probably good
I'm glad it's
travel
okay for
somewhere
you
else.
to know that your parents aren't here. And Kirill walks off.
Oh shit.
You should probably go deal with that.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's I don't care.
Right. Well, see you in a bit. And I'll start
Yeah.
Okay.
tapping away after.
Okay, so you head off after Kyria, Virgil leaving you at the table. What would you like to do?
So having them, with the two of them leaving, Virgil is going to sort of sit looking at the remainders of dinner and just the plates that everyone has left and slowly think to himself, well, they've just done this intentionally to make me do the washing up, haven't they? Brilliant.
Hey, I cooked.
Virgil sort of thinks to himself for a second, sits back in a chair and goes, one last avenue, maybe I can. And I'm going to go to my bag, recover the recipe book that we took from the warehouse, the letters, and the manifestos. And I'm going to start flicking through the recipe book, looking specifically for sections that aren't necessarily relating to ingredients or the way things are made, maybe names, signs off, just something other than just this book of recipes to see if there's any more information that can be gleaned from it.
Okay. Make me an investigation check, please.
Investigation. Still pretty good.
Well, I find my notes.
Even though I'm wisdom based, we are still dope.
Oh, this was like weeks ago as well. Right, one sec. You do that. I'll do this quick.
Yeah. We are looking at a dirty 20 for investigations.
Nice.
Okay, so you start thumbing your way through the book. It's going to take you some time.
Mm-hmm. I'll take as much time as it takes before everyone returns, essentially.
Okay, so so you flick through, but when you first started looking through this, you got to around 2/3 of the way through, didn't really get all the way to the back cover.
Yep.
This time, you pretty much start where you left off and begin to read the back third. And as you get to the very back page and flick it over, almost like instinctively closing the book, and as you kind of close it and lean back, you spot there was writing on the inside cover of the back, like binding cover. As you flick it back open and you read, property of Thaldrin Black Brew.
Ooh, okay.
Thaldrin is Thaldrin. Black Brew is spelled exactly like it sounds.
Yep. Black Brew. Just reading that name, does it ring a bell in any way, shape, or form? In the sense of I may have read it from general arcane tomes about creations, or just through general study, would that name have popped up at all?
Roll me a history check.
Okay, let's do some history. Okay. History. Where the hell? There it is. Okay. That's one. That's good. Okay, that is 18.
18. Okay. I'd like everyone else to take the headset off for a minute, just while I tell Dan this little bit. So when I put my hand up, just...
You're the chosen one! I've never had to do this before.
A whisper from me.
So we're not actually going to talk about what's in the book at this point, Dan. We're going to just have a general casual conversation to wind everyone up.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's dope, man. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, how's your day been?
Yeah, it's been all right. It's been a long weekend, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jimmy.
As you cast your mind back, it isn't in a book, but the name sticks out.
Yeah.
And it's... The harder you try to remember it, the harder it is for you to grasp, right? However, you do, after a while, figure it out. When you were renting a room at the tavern, when you were studying, you heard story of an alchemist shop called the Alchemist's Nook. And it was a quiet shop nestled in one of the bottom corners of the lower city. You remember that somebody called Thaldrin Blackbrew owned said shop and ran it for most of their life.
Okay.
The story that you heard was that the Alchemist Nook burnt down, and the rumor is that it was a failed brew that exploded the property and not only destroyed the property but killed Thaldrin Blackbrew in the process.
Right, okay. Let me just write that down.
There was a huge fire. The property burnt to a cinder. The property was burnt to that heavy a state that it was then essentially just decommissioned, knocked down, new ground never to be built on again type deal, right? So rip it out root and stem, just completely bulldozed where the property used to stand.
Yeah,
but that's what you heard, and it was very much in passing, as if it wasn't like it was a recent event. It was like a month or two prior, and the way it came around during conversation was that at this point it was the last bits of them demolishing it and clearing it out, and the person that was talking about it was part of the demolition crew and part of the clearance crew, as this building had to be dismantled, put on carts, destroyed, all that kind of stuff. And it was just at the end of one of these person's days, they were just talking in and around the building that they would be working on getting rid of and its origin, essentially. But that's the rumor you heard.
Okay, so let me just make sure I got that down completely. So while I was at the Silver Serpent, because that's where I was staying, so I remember that, I heard the story that the Alchemist Nook in the lower city was owned by Thaldrin. During a failed experiment, his shop basically burned to the worst of degrees.
Yeah.
And they just went, we're not doing anything with this, and took the whole thing away just completely.
Yep. Just completely bulldozed the plot, ripped it out root and stem. All right?
Yep. Cool. Thank you very much.
Okay. That was a nice chat, Dan. I like that.
It was good, yeah.
I feel like we know each other on that.
Yeah.
I know.
It was very weird not hearing that.
Well, there you go. So that's
welcome to our life.
Yeah, I
and
know.
that kind of just snaps to your mind, and it's almost at the end of this investigation, and you flicking through papers, and almost as you're packing them back in your bag, it's almost like a wait moment. Yeah. And as that memory and that thought hits your mind, the door to the property swings open and Edivir steps through. But before Edivir steps through, Kyria ran off to where?
Yeah. One of the bedrooms.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And just slams the door and puts their weight against the door.
Okay. Tim, you race down the hallway. A moment or two later, you see all the other bedroom doors open, bar one. Kyria is nowhere in sight.
I'm gonna go and knock.
Leave me alone, Pim.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to sound insensitive.
It's okay. I know you didn't mean it. I just have to process emotions right now.
Can we please talk?
I'm not angry at you, Pim. I just need some space.
No, I know.
Minute.
I just think I need to explain something.
Kind of hearing that tone in his voice, they begrudgingly kind of open the window a crack and look down at him. Okay. And opens the door for him completely.
I run up and give a leg hug.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
And I know I sound. It came off really, really bad. I know that your moms are still here, and it's not that I want to leave anything. It's just I want to stop whatever's happening, but can I be honest with you?
Yeah, of course.
When I first started my journey from home, I traveled for quite a long time, about a week, and I eventually came up to a crossroads, and I didn't know where to go, so I decided that I would camp and decide in the morning. And that night I had a nightmare, but it wasn't really a nightmare. It was more like a vision. I don't know if it's because I'm in tune with nature or if it's some other thing, but the reason why I was just so focused on my parents is because I think they're in danger. I saw a vision of them running through a forest. First they were fighting something, and then they were fleeing. And they were fleeing from something horrible. I saw my parents run as fast as they could, and my mum was bleeding from her stomach. And there was something chasing after them, some kind of a big horrible shadow thing. And my parents separated for a bit. I just remember hearing my dad screaming that they would meet at something called the orchard. Then I saw this hulking shadow thing get closer towards my mum, and then I woke up.
You can see quite clearly that Kyria, the more you started to detail this vision, the more shaken up they got, and you can tell at this point they're kind of struggling to properly breathe. And it's just like, okay.
I thought they were here somewhere. I thought maybe they would
no.
come to Wyndmere and sort of retrace their steps, but then today I learned that they were actually here. They
like here?
Yeah, they and I'll hold up my staff. This is my mum's. It's made from the forest outside my home. They were here for about a week, according to Talia.
They did stop through.
Yeah. And then Thalia said that they're not on this continent anymore. The last time they saw them was when they were boarding an airship. I didn't mean to sound insensitive. It's just that if my nightmare is true, then my parents are in real danger. And
Pim, listen to me. If I've learned anything, last few hours, It's that visions like that shouldn't be ignored. And you have your own priorities, Pim. And I get that. I really do. And I want you to find them, and I want you to help them if they need helping. But I've already ran from one set of parents and lost them. I'm not doing the same again.
No, and I don't want you to. And I'm here to stand and fight, whatever that means. I'm not a good fighter, but I'll do what I can.
Don't need to be. We don't need. What?
Edivir's going to blow up Wyndmere anyway, so it doesn't matter, does it? Like,
No. We don't need fighters. We need numbers. If enough people believe what we are trying to say to them, the truth, if we expose what is going on, if we have enough people on our side, they will begin to take the system down themselves. They won't need us to stick around. We make the future better, and then we can go.
I like the
We
sound
have
of
more
that.
in Essen. We have their contacts, their friends, everybody who's ever stayed or passed through the Artful Lodger. We don't need qualified fighters, we just need people.
as this conversation continues, Virgil gets to the end of the book. Edivir, Liana, you will have come back into the property by now, kind of dripping in sweat a little bit, but good workout. And I'd say maybe like 10 minutes after you get back and you're kind of sat in the living room, Virgil sat at the dining room table flicking through the book and then putting the book back. As Virgil kind of like walks round the corner into the hallway where the bedrooms are and sees this conversation, you all hear the front door poof, swing open and footsteps enter the property.
Straight in the stairs.
Edivir, you... Sorry, go on.
Tank smells good.
Oh, yeah.
Is there
Probably
anything?
cold by now.
That's fine by me.
You're back. How did it go?
Well, there was definitely something to see. How much further it gets us, I don't know. I stayed outside Malgrave Manor for a good couple of hours. At first, there wasn't much movement, but then eventually some individuals turned up. And I'll recount what I saw and the descriptions of the people that I saw. And before they even managed to make it into the manor, they all just vanished. Halfway up the drive. That Thessal character was there.
What do you mean? How did they vanish? What did it look like?
Well, I was watching them walk up the driveway. Thessal put his hand in the air. Seemed to do some kind of incantation or something. I don't know, I was too far away to hear or tell, but they all just simultaneously faded out of existence.
Another mass illusion.
A what?
Like Greybeard with the ship, an illusion. Potentially.
Right.
No
I know
one
that
can
word.
make that many individuals invisible, not even the most powerful of mages. And I doubt Thessal has that kind of power, but he could put up very easily a decent enough illusion to cover the house and anyone inside of it.
That's true. And I suppose if they were teleporting somewhere, they wouldn't have bothered going all the way to the manor driveway to do it.
No. Malgrave returned with someone and they didn't want anyone to see. This is interesting. Is everyone here or is it just me, Liana?
No, I think at this point you just hear Kyrie's raised voice shout, "We just need people."
Are they okay?
Yes, Kiria's a little shaken up about the idea of potentially not fighting for Wyndmere this day, and Tim kind of upset them with the idea that his parents are safe and theirs are not. It's something they have to work out, but...
It's something we all have to work out.
Well,
The terrain has changed.
It has, and I have information as well now.
It's too late for us to clear our names without also taking down Malgrave. And whoever Malgrave is aligned with seems to coincide with the arrival of these Solasta ships. He may be too well connected for us, even us, to discredit him.
I think at this point, so basically as soon as Kyria kind of raised their voice and said that, they kind of like look directly at you, Pim, like making eye contact. We just need more people. Pim, come with me. And like starts to run, almost buckles over from exhaustion, and slowly kind of makes their way back into the main room.
Grab my stuff.
Thank you.
Also, one more thing, Kyria.
Yeah?
Thalia said something about my parents were going to heal an ancient forest.
Okay. I'm kind of... My brain's kind of hyper-focusing on one thing right now. I will come back to that.
You see,
Okay.
you see that Finian is kind of a little bit off to one side within the living room area, just kind of like leant up against one of the arms of one of the sofas.
Oh, I thought he left.
No, he's come
No,
back.
he came back.
Oh,
Came back with Eddie.
right. Right, okay.
Well, this doesn't look like everybody relaxing and sleeping and resting.
No.
We're on our way.
Virgil, do you have a map?
Not on me.
Okay, can you like draw a rough sketch of Wyndmere?
I can try, I suppose. Right, okay. Oh, Quill's gone. Old school it is, fine. And he pulls out a parchment and starts very roughly drawing out what he assumes to be sort of the lower, middle, and upper parts of Wyndmere with the locations he knows of relative to where he thinks they are.
Okay.
And while he's doing this, Kyria kind of shuffles up and plonks down in a chair, but is like very much like as astute as they could possibly be. And she's like, I understand that you all think we should leave. I do, and I get that. I understand that it's for preservation and it makes sense. But who's to say we leave, we're the scapegoats now, who's next? There's always going to be someone. So, if we're going to leave, we leave with a bang. If we're going to leave, we realise that we do not need fighters and more of us. Our issue is not fighters. Our issue is that we need more people.
The issue is the truth.
Yes, and if we have more people, we can get the truth out there. The more people know, the more they all want to stand up for it as well. Even if that's all we do, even if we just try and push that first domino out, and then we leave.
Kyria, you're a very endearing person, but not everyone's going to listen to us. They've seen our faces on wanted posters. Who's going to believe us?
People, so more in essence, they have apparently owned and operated the Artful Lodger for 100 years. They're gonna have a loyal base of people who've passed through there, sought shelter there, the people who will listen to us. We have a channel into the right groups.
Yes, but are those right groups able to put up enough of a fight of what is coming towards them for a collective voice to make a difference? Kyria, I understand what you're saying, but these are just innocent individuals, people who live on the streets, what are they going to do?
It might not have to be a fight.
But it doesn't. But then, I get the idea. I do get it, and I understand this idea, but it takes time. to sow enough seeds of doubt in a government and a government like regime that has presided over a city that has kept
Think
you
that
safe
those
and
doubts
fed.
don't
and
already exist?
They may well do, but we're talking that we have days, not weeks, to sow this and like foster
All
it
I'm
to
saying
spread.
is we need to start it. We don't need to finish it. If we can start something and go, I'll at least feel better that we didn't do nothing.
But then we also have to consider the fact that we could then potentially stoke an uprising while there's a fucking armada on the door. If the people in those ships are in cahoots with the person that's trying to pull sway, we might... I'm not suggesting it's a bad idea, but I'm just talking that it might well put those people that you've just mentioned that you care about and that Mora and Essen care about in very real danger.
Well, who's to say that that's not going to happen anyway? So, look at it this way. Malgrave, from what we can tell, Malgrave has done, and his people that he are in cahoots with, they are created this flux problem to get him a seat on the council, right?
If that's true, yes.
If that's true.
I think it's more than that.
Yeah, probably. But
I don't think the Dread Sultan serves Malgrave. I think it's very much the opposite way around.
Yeah, but that's the thing. For the Dread Sultan to come here, he probably needs some kind of unanimous decision from the council.
No, that's not how the Dread Sultan operates, Pim. You're talking about somebody who has already destroyed a nation. They've had their eye firmly fixed on here and Evercrest for years. This is a foothold. This is a chokehold on the rest of the continent.
The Dread Sultan is a conqueror.
Now,
I know people like him, and he doesn't care about diplomacy and seats on councils. People like him take what they want when they want it.
Now,
I don't think it's a matter of the seat. It's a matter of having an inside man who he's promised to basically have a seat at his right-hand side throughout all of this, when the flux incites enough political instability that everything comes toppling down and it's easy for the Dread Sultan to then claim it. It's all politics.
I get that. Well, I get most of that, but I also think what the Mr. the Raven's saying...
It's just call me Finn.
Weight.
Finn,
Sorry.
Finian.
My concern is protecting people, and the people that you want to leave behind causing a fuss. Yes, they might already be in danger and might be causing the fuss for the right reasons, and I get that, but you're making them a face of something that they don't... You're putting them in danger.
We are the unseen. We are the unseen.
That's right, but you're making them seen.
Not if they work in that many numbers.
Okay.
Yes, I'm being optimistic, but where would the world be if there was no optimism? I know words. I'm tired.
Tyria is right. Some kind of grassroots resistance, even questioning the narrative, goes a long way. And while Finn, Virgil, Deanna, you're also correct, it could put them in danger. But that's the thing about a fight like this. The people who fight do so because they choose to, for their freedom and for the betterment of their lives. We can't force Moore, Essen, or anyone else to do anything, but we can reveal the truth to them and let them decide.
So if this only works if they believe us. We don't have massive proof. We have theories, and we know
we
the
have
truth,
the letters and we have the recipes.
Again, it's words on a piece of paper that is going to convince people that already think we're murderers.
And what convinced them of that? Words on a piece of paper. wanted posters. What's the difference?
Look,
Wait.
We can... No, it's... If we get the information into the right hands, they will begin to spread it themselves. It will not come from the murderers or the escaped convicts.
Wait.
It will
Who
come
are the
from
right
the people.
hands?
Wait. No. Essentially, what the people of this city are now facing is a dictatorship like the one they faced 50 years ago before the collapse of the last monarch that ruled over them, before the council was even put in place. If we can find evidence that the Dread Sultan is here to do the same thing on Malgrave's word, that is the spark that will ignite people of this city to rise again.
What we need someone on the council with a sympathetic ear.
You know, this is crazy, but it isn't that crazy.
Maybe if we push it to enough people, we can.
But it's either that, like, and he kind of sees you kind of like reel back a little bit, Leanna, and Finn just turns and goes, "What's the alternative? Storm Malgrave's manor, ourselves, the six of us, against a host of armed guards and SBC members, and we just take our chance."
At least
Or we leave and do
14
nothing?
guards controlling the perimeter.
Or we leave and let the fate of Wyndmere to itself.
We don't leave.
Look,
Don't leave.
I'm only talking options here. Like, I'm with you guys. Whatever you collectively decide as the best course of action, I'm with you. I just don't want people getting hurt. I've spent the last few years here avoiding that very thing.
People
like-
are already getting hurt. We're getting hurt.
Yeah, but we've not faced 15 ships with cannons pointed at a city. The untold death and destruction that could cause at a moment's notice, at somebody's word. Like, if we do this, we have to be clever. We can't just march through the streets, parading, chanting, or anything like that. This all has to be done underground, shadow games.
Yeah.
Getting the word out. Like, if we're found out to be behind it, like, I tell you now, you think that the bounty on your head is high now. If they find out that you're trying to stoke a revolution in the city, it will just be the death penalty. There will be the reward will triple, quadruple. There'll be zeros added to the end of it. You will be the highest bountied people on the continent.
I'm already serving my death penalty.
Well, not all of us have died yet, Kyria, so let's not
I
throw everyone
know.
under the bus right now.
I'm
shall
not.
we?
I'm talking for myself, Virgil. Because I can actually do that.
Yes, surprisingly well, but
The reason I
look,
came
if we're
here...
doing this, and we're doing it soon, I have discovered something in the back of this recipe book. I should have read it sooner, but I don't know if there's a name that means anything to you, but Thaldrin Blackbrew. The owner of the Alchemist's
The
Nook.
Alchemist Nook in
Yes.
the lower city.
This recipe book is his. I remember hearing a tale while I stayed at the Silver Serpent a couple of months before this all went down, that during some kind of experimentation, he blew himself up and destroyed everything he had so badly that the city saw it fit to destroy his home completely, root and stem removed from the earth. He may be a start, he may be a lead, but it is some new information.
And when they
Did you just
removed
say
his
blew him
home...
up?
He may have been the first one to try and create flux, is what I'm saying. He may be the progenitor of this, at least the start before it was perfected, and whatever he did destroyed him.
So how do we find out more about that if he's dead?
We find out who knew Blackbrew. We find out who was talking to Thaldrin.
But we don't.
If his name comes up.
I don't think we have time for that. We have days.
No.
We have
But if we're staying
3
here to
days.
start a revolution, it's going to be more than just a day, isn't it? We're staying here now, clearly. We're not leaving the city, so...
We don't have to
I'm-
wait for an entire revolution to build. We need to give them something else to worry about. We need to have people who are sympathetic to our cause. We're out of scratches. We need to make connections, ones that we can trust.
Then we could easily or easier move through the city.
We need to find the sympathetic ear of someone on the council that we can deliver the information to, who can actually do something with it.
Do we know anybody with that sort of connection?
I passed the council chambers earlier. I was hoping to get the ear of a passing intern, find out who the few honest members of the council are. I came to this city with very little knowledge, but look, I came here like I did everywhere else, looking for wrongs to put right. In my years of looking for those things, this might be the first time I've had the opportunity to put right a wrong before it happens. I am not leaving and passing up that opportunity and leaving the people of this city to the fate that those people up there have in store for them. That includes Kyria's family.
Okay. Well,
You seem concerned, Leona.
I am. But I don't want you to think that I'm not for this plan. I want this to work. I don't know how that works, but I also want to be on that ship before it leaves. And I'm sorry if that means separating ways. But if it comes to that, I will leave.
Well, Greybeard promised that he won't leave without...
He also said he would override it if we took too long. He can't stick around forever.
Okay, so we try and work on it as fast as we can.
We have 4 days. 3.
3.
No, 4.
3.
It was 3 or
3.
4 days, and I think we've now got 3, yeah.
right.
And she looks directly at Kyria. I know you have a big stake in this city, and so do we all. It's not a matter of who we know personally, it's people. And I want to help them. But I can't pass up the opportunity to go home. I have people that aren't here. And I will help you as much as I can. But I don't want you guys to be shocked when I don't cross that line. If I can't.
You've got to do what you've got to do. No one's forcing you to stay anywhere. We all have a free choice in this. Like we always have. Like I said to you all when we first met, this is the way I'm going, you guys can go wherever you want. Anytime I say, I'm not doing this, I'm doing this, don't feel like that means you are too.
That kind of flies in the face of us, doesn't it? We are a group. We have come together in the face of this. We cannot act as individuals.
No, that's what makes us, us. Individuals in a common cause. Not some hive mind, not some brainwashed group of fanatics. Real people, each with their own individual goals, but sharing in a vision for the future.
So let's get this done in the next couple of days.
Alright. I still have some contacts in the high city.
Would I know if, so as part of the council, whether there's like a council member who is responsible for like all the businesses in Wyndmere, that type of thing, that potentially Maura Essen would have a connection to? Like that department or something?
So there are a grand total of 8 council members.
Mm-hmm.
Each one holds sway over and like I wouldn't say dominion, but kind of power over certain elements within the city. So one will be the head of like finances and the economy, and one will be the head of healthcare, and another head of, you know, infrastructure
development,
and shit like that, right? But these 8 council members are the heads of state essentially, and any decision for the city needs to be swayed in a 6-2 vote minimum of any decision. Meaning that with the premise, so just for everybody's benefit and you guys at home, so the idea behind having this many council members is that no one person holds power over another, and that each person talks from a collective position of wanting to mutually benefit the city. Now, does that mean that none of them have agendas? No, that's politics for you. Everybody wants to be a little bit step above the rest, right? And
we know? Oh, sorry.
Would I say that Moore and Essen would have a connection to a council member? Probably
not directly
not.
to a council member. So I'm on about, you know, their department, their team. Like, even if it's lower down the chain, that could potentially be chased up.
Not
just because they've been a business for 100 years, I was just wondering if there was potentially
not particularly. It's the same way that, like, if you have a business, you have connections to the inland revenue, but not Rishi Sunak himself, type deal, right? Do you know what I mean? So, like, there's a lot of layers between.
I'm more seeking the inland revenue connection.
Do I know the fucking boss?
Do we know?
It's a good thought though, Kiri. I didn't want to like completely dismiss it, but like it's not really how that would work. So they would probably have in ways to that kind of division or department within the government, but how far that reach could stretch up is anyone's guess, you know.
Do we know the seat that Malgrave is gunning for?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a seat that has become vacant recently, or are they looking to take someone's place that is already on the council?
You've not heard any word that there was only 7 council members.
Okay, but no one who lives in the. Okay, so no one's heard that there's only 7 currently. So, all right, fine. I just thought if we might be able to find a friend of whoever's seat he's going for, or even the person whose seat he's going for.
Well, Finian kind of like pushes himself off the sofa and goes, right, well, look, we're not going to change the world tonight, and we need rest. We need to be our best selves in the morning, and you all look how I feel.
Yeah.
Maybe not as bad as you feel. And he kind of like nods ahead towards Kyria. But I suggest we sleep on it, ruminate on it, reconvene in the morning, put a very sensible plan in action, and go. And we don't stop until it's done. But I will stand with you until the end, but if I see that end coming like an airship at land under like false rudder, I will speak up. Because if I see that things are shifting heavily out of our favor to a point where it's almost desperate, I will not allow us to act out of desperation. Because that's when people get hurt. And I will not see any of you get hurt. I hope you understand that the reason for that is from a place of care and a place of experience. And I don't want to see that happen to any of you. Or me. You are not going to be the reason that I die. I am going to be the reason I die. So look, let's call it a night. Get some rest. And let's just talk about it in the morning and put a plan in place, all right?
Yeah.
Okay. And as he kind of steps and goes, look, I'm still going to be in the glade, so if you need me, just let me know, but not really one for nice places at night. Plus, it never rains here, so I'm just going to go and kip under the tree, to be fair. All right.
Whatever floats your boat.
See you in the morning.
All right. And as he walks past, he kind of like grabs your hand, Kyria, and you feel a small parchment get past, and he goes, get some rest. Maybe your hair color will change in the morning. Who knows? And he just kind of like meanders past, and you hear the door open, him step through, and the door shut again.
Well, I'm going to find somewhere to bed down.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go and see if Thalia's awake.
We can
Cool.
get through this still. Everyone, I hope you know that.
I hope so.
It'll be all right.
Things always seem worse before they get better.
Just depends how much worse it gets before it gets better.
Does it?
Yes, it does.
Still gets better.
Mm.
My brother used to say something like that. It's always darkest before the dawn. He said lots of weird shit. He was smarter than I was.
I like it.
I suppose it's true.
With that being said, you all go your separate ways to bed down for the evening, into separate rooms. Pim, you head off to Thalia's, and you see there is no light source inside the hut, and the curtains are drawn and stuff. Would you like to risk waking her up? It is the dead of night at this point. It is like 11 coming on 12. Like, this has been a long day already. Everyone else is bedding down. Do you want to go and knock on the door?
No, if it's not lit, I'm just gonna walk to my mum's rose bush.
Okay.
And sleep underneath there.
Okay. As you all bed down for the evening, Kyria, you don't immediately read the note until you kind of like, almost like a safety blanket, you almost pull the covers up almost to the like hook onto your horns and kind of like pull it
like
over.
A little tent.
torch.
Yeah, exactly.
Torch in your Harry Potter book.
Yep. And you start to read what's on the parchment that says, Kyria, we hope that this letter finds you well. Your friend is currently stood in the doorway and refuses to come in, and it's making us nervous. But they assure us that you're a friend. He also called you Bumblebee, and we're not sure what that's about. Firstly, we wish to apologize. We've also been doing a lot of thinking lately, and there are some things that we also feel we need to talk to you about. You're right. We've been holding back. But seeing you the other day, living your life, makes us so proud. You've grown into such an amazing person, just as we knew you always would. Even though we're not related by blood, you are our daughter in every sense of the word. We cherish you more than you know. But there is a lot that we've kept from you, and for that, we're filled with a huge sense of guilt. We thought that we were shielding you, but now we see we were only holding you back. Please find it in your heart to forgive us for not trusting you enough to handle the truth. We can't wait for your return and to talk through everything with you as you deserve. No matter what, please remember that we love you unconditionally, and no matter where you are in the world, we will always be with you. With all our love and deepest apologies, More and Essen.
I think Kyria kind of initially like one tear is sliding down their cheek as they're reading this. And then as they kind of reach the end, they realize that they've not been properly breathing as they've read the whole thing and kind of gasp. And as they gasp, they can't help but let out a bit of a sob before kind of like curling into like as tight a ball as possible with the letter by their chest, and just cries for a bit before inevitably the exhaustion takes over and they fall asleep.
You all fall asleep at various points in the evening. You all gain the benefits of a long rest. Kyria, you scratch off one of your levels of exhaustion. Liana, if you had one left, then you can do the same.
Oh.
Cool.
Can I just do something before bed?
If it's quick, yeah.
Well, it's just if I can do it the next time, because the night will still be here, then yes, but I want to get it done in the night time.
Then no. You can tell me what it is now, because we're passing through the evening to the next morning.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So as Virgil returns to the larger of the bedrooms and closes the door and sets out the shield, the staff, the new scale mail armor, and just sort of stares it on the back of a chair for a minute before laying back into his bed, he'll stare at the ceiling for a bit and then clasp the Ouroboros symbol of Ilaria. And just as he's going to sleep, he'll just... Ilaria, I don't know if this is how it works or if this is prayer, I guess, or talking. I don't know, but I was told you help the arcane inclined when they are in need of it. When time and fate and magic are running out and you have nowhere else to turn. Potentially, I don't know. I am terrified of what is to come. I am cold to my core, and I don't know how I'm supposed to do this. How am I supposed to stare death in the face and go, sure, why not? Let's do this. Let's just hope for the best. Because hoping for the best has never gotten me far this now. So please, if you are there, if you can listen, I need help. And if you can help me to help them, then I guess it's a path we can both start to take. And he just squeezes the thing tight. And...
As you do, and you say these words aloud to this deity that you only really half believe in, the Ouroboros in your hand vibrates and feels like it's pulsing with this warm kind of glow within your hand. Almost like a heartbeat. And as you press it against yours, the quickness of your own heartbeat during this da-dum, 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 slows and continues to slow until the rhythm of your own beating heart matches that of the symbol. You feel at peace. That fear seems to fade. You feel an odd connection. Can't quite place your rotted finger on it, but you feel the connection, right? Sorry, guys. Sorry. Had to.
It's true. Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
So you feel at ease, Virgil. Like this all-encompassing thing like washes over you, and it fills you with a sense of, oh, maybe there is more to this than meets the eye.
Transformers? Yeah, cool.
Ouroboros in disguise. As Alara just pops out, she's like, yo! Yo, my brother, you called! I'm here to heal your time, faith and magic. No, that doesn't happen. But you get, you are overcome by this sense of just calm, man.
God, that'd be nice. Yeah.
In this moment of calm meditation, Edivir just opens and walks through your door without knocking. Just like, have you got any paper left?
You genuinely see Virgil sort of lying straight on the bed, just holding this pendant to his chest, kind of seemingly in a moment of his own, and just, doesn't really get up, just sort of looks down at you from like his face. Like,
I'll come back.
yes, it's in the bag. Just look in there. There's also inkwells. Don't take the nice ones. That's arcane ink.
Okay, I'm going to take the non-arcane ink and all of the paper.
Okay, thank you. Oof, out.
Thank you, and I leave.
Oh my
Okay.
god, how much paper did you take?
How much have you got? I'll pay you back. Don't worry. You don't need it right now, right?
I always need paper.
I'll buy you more.
Okay, so you have 31 sheets of regular paper.
Okay.
You guys keep bombs, you keep useful things, I keep paper.
Edivir is going to spend the rest of the night just drawing on every piece of on every single piece of paper. He's just sitting cross-legged on the floor of the room, and just on every single paper he draws it, pushes it aside to a pile, draws it again, pushes it to the side of the pile. He's drawing over and over again the symbol of the bleeding rose growing through cobbled streets.
Okay. You do so 38 times, 36 times, did you say?
Until I get tired.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then he's just going to say, "We need more people. We better find the right ones." And then he's going to go to sleep.
God, we're all going through it tonight, aren't we?
just putting things into motion.
So, you all fall asleep, gain the benefits of a long rest. This is a hospitable environment, so as per the hit point rules, you get to roll 100% of your hit die, plus you gain your hit die back, any spell slots abilities that you gain at a long rest. So, roll your hit die. As we do on every short and long rest, we do not, for those at home who've just joined us, thank you very much. Roll together, bloody hell. Roll together. Thank you very much for the raid. Appreciate that. So just a bit of an insight. We roll hit points at long rest and short rest a bit differently. So you gain your hit points back, but you have to roll the hit points. So it's not like long rest back to full health. You have to use your hit die both on long and short rests, because otherwise they're a nothing commodity in the world of D&D, as I've experienced many times. So we run with those rules. Cool. The next morning, you all wake. You all gather yourselves in the dining room, and just as you begin greeting each other, piercing through the quiet of outside, you hear the following.
Good morning, Skyhaven. I'm Felicity Clearwater, and here are the top stories for today. In a significant diplomatic event, emissaries from the Isle of Solasta have arrived in Skyhaven. Their mission is to discuss the recent attack on their embassy within the city of Wyndmere. The attack has heightened tensions between our nations, and these talks are crucial for restoring peace and cooperation. The emissaries were received with heightened security, and discussions are expected to begin immediately. Both Skyhaven and Solasta are hopeful for a positive resolution to this unsettling incident. In an update on the ongoing flux epidemic, the Skyhaven Bureau of Crimes, SBC, have announced a major breakthrough in their investigation. They now believe they have sufficient evidence to link the masterminds behind the epidemic to the recent prison break. It appears that either all or some of the escaped individuals are highly involved in the manufacturing and distribution of flux. The SBC are intensifying their efforts to recapture these criminals and put an end to this dangerous drug spread. Skyhaven residents are urged to remain vigilant and report any suspicious activity. In political news, Lord Gideon Malgrave made a public statement last night declaring his intention to run for office. Malgrave aims to secure a seat on the council that governs Wyndmere. Known for his strong leadership and influence, his candidacy is expected to significantly impact the upcoming elections and peace talks with Solasta. Malgrave emphasised his commitment to addressing the city's most pressing issues, including public safety and economic development. His announcement has already sparked a flurry of reactions from both supporters and opponents. We'll continue to keep you updated on these developing stories as they unfold. Stay tuned to Skyhaven News for all the latest updates. I'm Felicity Clearwater. Thank you for joining us. Good morning, Skyhaven.
And that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Oh my god.
Damn you, Felicity Clearwater, you speak lies! You speak lies!
Right. I appreciate Amy doing that, but it's like, stop, you only bring torment.
It hurts. Yeah, I think
Clearwater's going on the list.
I feel like it
send that
hurts
to you,
more
Dan,
when it's
in a
Amy,
second.
right? So for
paid
those,
actress, paid actress.
yeah, for those of you at home, that's
Propaganda.
actually my wife that recorded that, and my wife has never played D&D and often takes the piss out of me for playing D&D and calls me the biggest nerd she's ever met in her life. But look who did a voice acting job on my stream! But that is all that we've got time for this evening. Before we go, and before we obviously tap out for the night, we are just going to reiterate, we are at the UKGE, so the UK Games Expo this weekend. For those new viewers, if you are a lover of that convention, if you're visiting the convention, we are actually doing lots of interviews. You'll see our faces all over the show over the 3 days. We've got lots and lots of things planned. We also have a community meetup on the Saturday at 1 o'clock at our sponsors stall, Valkyrie RPG, which is Hall 2, stall 394?
369.
Whatever, one of them. You'll find it in Hall 2 on the outer edge. Go look. But if you want to find out more and you're into kind of gaming conventions, tabletop conventions, all the rest of it, then stay tuned to our Instagram. All the links for that are downstairs in the About Us section of this stream. Click on Instagram.
What's it called?
The dungeon. It doesn't matter at this point.
Yeah, there we go.
So, go down there, click on Instagram, click follow, because all of our UK Games Expo content while we're at the event will be posted on there. And then any further content, like all the interviews that we've got planned, including one with Luke Gygax. Did I just say the son of the guy who created D&D? Holy shit! Oh, wow! How the hell did we fucking pull those strings? Well, find out more on our YouTube channel, where we're going to post all the interview videos, including the one with Luke. There is also a load of new teasers, and you might catch a few things that we're kind of hinting at and teasing towards for the near future. So keep an eye on Instagram. Go check out our YouTube channel. If you have missed tonight's episode, because I know some of you viewers came in as part of the raid, you can catch it on YouTube on Sunday. We'll make sure that this is all edited and up on YouTube for Sunday. So even more reason to head over there, press subscribe and the notification bell.
In the meantime, you can catch up on the previous 20 episodes.
Yeah, exactly.
And see how we got this fucked.
Just before we do tap out for the evening, I just want to remind everyone at home that it doesn't matter if you're related by blood or not, the people around you are the most important, so cherish them. We love you guys. We'll see you next week for the finale of Aerilon, A Damned Voyage. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Bye. See you soon.